welcome, everyone, gentlemen and gentlemen. KJ, you are live. You want to have your camera on. Lawal Mustafa, you are also live. You want to have your camera on. Yeah, as we were discussing, I think it was KJ, you were, and somebody, most people think that the Nigerian government don't, you know, we should make it smaller and all the rest. This is why I keep saying we should be checking data before we start saying stuff about Nigeria. But that said, where are we on the matter of tax reform, or we want to move to another topic?
Yeah, we can continue there because there are certain things you are saying which I don't agree with. If you go back to history, you find out that the time that Nigeria made the most progress was when the federal government was lean. At that time, there was no attraction, there was no much money, so there was nothing to take you to the federal. So that is why people like the late Sadana Sokoto said to Tafawa Balewa, "You can go to the center. I will remain in the north." So it was because it was not attractive to be at the center. In fact, the great minds like Nnamdi Azikiwe wanted to come back to the regions before he had that little squabble with Okpara, who told him that you go and play in the center with your mates. Let me be at the east. And so it was not attractive because there's nothing in the north. In the center that will warrant this huge budgeting. But eventually, when Nigeria became a unitary system, now the whole power concentrated at the center because again the military runs to bring everything to one point where they can monitor it properly, and that's how it ended up being well up today. So if you look at that and then look at what's going on, now you find that constantly
Your network is breaking.
Because they know it's not my own, because I can see all of you. It's your own that's not going off our own.
Really?
Two people vote is outweigh
All right.
your own. No.
I don't know what it is. Okay, so I'll go off and I'll come back.
Yeah, so I think this point that I made, a lot of people disagree with it because instinctively we think the federal government in Nigeria should have smaller share. But because people don't check reference to like America, that we like to, the ultimate capitalist, the federal government collects 60 to 65% of revenue of that country. And that matters because if your federal government is deprived of resources, the states become too powerful and you have problems. If what KJ is saying now is correct about the 60s, which I will need to confirm, it could have created the environment that led to the state really getting into a civil war, something like that, because the federal government was so weak.
So KJ is 100% right. What you are missing when you talk about the US did not own the investment. But in Nigerian case, Nigeria owned the investment. You understand? So this is where you are making mistake. So if I make a lot of money, the federal government make a lot of money. I don't have a problem with that because I see all the good things that the federal government use the money to do. But in our own case, our federal government own all these things, and almost 90% of the things federal government own, federal government can't even invest in those things. They just allow us to start invest in our power for the donkey years that will be suffering for power before they just allow the governor to say, okay, right now you can do this. You understand? So this is the difference.
Sorry. Let me ask you though. But the argument in many Nigerians make is not about private ownership necessarily. It's about state ownership. So if states own it or federal government own it, what is the biggest difference there? And as a matter of fact, in America, federal government owns a lot of things too in the federal government in America too. So I don't know where
the federal government owns. Post office.
They own land, they own oil. I think almost all the offshore oil, they control it. Any offshore oil, they control it.
Yeah, so this is another thing that you are making mistake. So for further go look now, you discover that the University of Texas, Austin, Texas, is richer than Harvard. The University of Texas is not an Ivy League university. They own a lot of oil. They They own a lot of oil refineries and the like.
Yeah,
They
I
own a
think they
lot of
stated that.
gold.
They even stated that. But remember, you see, the trick the American government plays is that they will say you own it all, but by the time they finish taxing you, you you find out that who truly
Which
owns this stuff. They
is
own it.
good. Remember, if federal government tax you a lot in the US, to some extent is good. Do you know why? Because if this business is still dying again, the federal government still have the obligation
Exactly.
to
They
still
will
help
have
for
to
this
step in
business
now.
not to die. In our own case, our own federal government own investment that they have, they choose not to invest in their own investment, which means it's already dead from arrival. Just like as we talk about all this oil thing that you hear, you understand why continuously they keep saying Port Harcourt is rich, Port Harcourt is rich, Warri is rich. All the old investments that they
But
keep expanding little by little.
but let me
You
ask you though.
understand? When they
Okay,
can exploit a lot
hold on
from
before we go. Hold on.
Ondo State.
Let me ask you though, if you are saying your argument, because I want to know where your true argument is. You are saying that the federal government owning stuff is not a good idea. Private ownership should own it. But in Nigeria, private ownership has not demonstrated that they are any better at running anything. Because we don't even notice when they fail. If Nigerian government fails, Nigeria fails. But when private companies
No,
fail, we don't notice it. Do you know how many private companies
no,
have failed?
Poor
for
father,
father, this
hold
is
on,
where
hold
you
on,
miss it.
hold on, Paul,
Where
hold
you
on,
miss
poor
it.
father.
Okay.
Just this week, OPEC, Organization of African Unity, I mean of petroleum exporting countries,
Mm.
gave kudos to Dangote refinery. Since Dangote came to the stream, they have now been able to export. He's now exporting oil and reducing the cost of importation. So now that's a singular individual being recognized by an international organization for their contribution and how it has affected OPEC,
Mm.
oil control. Now the one where I'm going to is this place. The one that the federal government is supposed to do towards Dangote, which is to supply crude. They've not even been able to meet the quota that Dangote crude refinery is asking for, to the point that it has to start importing from outside crude that it has to use, crude that's in our backyard, crude that's at some place that not even been mined yet. So what Paul and we have been trying to understand that in the US, those kind of things cannot happen. It can happen. By the way, how many times have you seen a government come out to support a business that will die in Nigeria if it's not one they want to sell to themselves? When?
Yeah,
So,
but
so,
the
since
argument you are
what we are trying
making
to
is
say is
not
this:
for
listen,
removing resources from the center, but most of the argument I hear Nigerians making is removing resources from the center. They want to
what is the center doing with the
eviscerate the
resources?
center, so the center becomes weaker.
What is the center doing with the resources? So resources is
You
just
ask
importing
American
them and
government what they are
dumping.
doing with the resources now.
Yes, what are they doing with it?
See, they don't see. Okay, maybe the reason why the center is failing in Nigeria is because the sides of Nigeria want to rip the center open. But in America, the center keeps 60 to 65% of the resources. No, I'm giving you the numbers. What do you think about that?
You keep comparing this thing. America, every
You are
state has
talking
its own.
tax that they get, tax.
Yes,
What about the investment? For
yes.
father,
Yeah, the resources
if
to the
federal
resources.
government don't own this
Natural resources.
investment, eh, they will not let, they we always do everything possible to make private investment work because that's how they make money. That's how the
Yeah.
US also make money.
See,
Do you
Paul
get the
Father,
point?
I was surprised that most of the companies in America, if not 90%, I don't have that statistics, but they are run by individuals, small companies, families. Some of them that I know, I one day asked one of them, they say, everybody working here is our relation. This is a third generation. And look at their house behind their company. So everybody in that company is working. And I asked the guy who is their father, who seemingly seems to be the owner of the business now. And I said, don't your this isn't this guy has he finished school? He said, what school? What do we need school for? We have our business running. Okay. So all the education he needs to get, he gets from his grandfather, who tells him how to run the business. That's all they are concerned about. They're not concerned about your certificate. And they are contributing and making America work. This is what we are saying. The
But,
model we know, we have it in
you are
Nigeria.
saying as if that is not the same for Nigeria. Nigerian businesses are run by mostly Nigerians. The
No,
big
but
companies are not that many.
no. Nigerian government is the largest employer of labor in Nigeria. How about forefather? We're not going to talk about that again now.
Nigerian government is the largest employer. In America, is practically the same too in terms of
No,
single
now.
entity.
No. I don't know. I don't know which America you're talking about, but
Mosquito.
maybe I don't
Where
have
do
that
you find
certificate.
mosquito in America again? This one you're slapping your hand. So no, it's like,
What
but a
father
moment I
mosquito
told you
dey
the
No,
mosquito in
mosquito dey
America.
divide? What father we
maybe
have
you
mosquito?
have better information. I don't have that information.
So, but this the in terms of revenue, I feel like the federal government of Nigeria now, from what I gather, they have 750,000 workers. In America, I think they have it almost 3 million. In the UK, they have probably more. The NHS alone, the health service alone, has about 1.4 to 2 point something million, depending on what time you're checking. So Nigerian state is a lot weaker than we like to believe. And I feel like when we talk about Nigerian state, we talk as if it's some kind of juggernaut that has
For father,
controls in
you
Nigeria,
make
but it's not
mistake
necessarily
when you
true.
use this word. Nigerian federal government have what it takes to even employ more people. If they
Yes, they
invest
do.
on those solid minerals that is in the north, then people will be there to regulate that. Like as we have them in the US, there are people will be there to regulate.
You mean
So
they will
which means
invest?
federal government, if they invest in their investment, they will create job. But in this case now, they just dwell in only oil. Then the few money
I
now
don't.
people make again,
Okay.
they say come pay taxes. They just dwell
I'm
in
trying
only
to get to
oil.
the bottom of the, because you are saying the federal government should invest. How do you mean invest in Nigerians to invest, or invest themselves? Because a moment ago you have issues with Nigerian
Okay,
government owning
So
anything.
if the
here's what
federal
Paul is
government
saying.
can't do it like the Saudi Arabia, if they can't do it like Saudi Arabia, then give it out for other
Here's what
private investors to do it.
here's what
Either of both.
Okay.
Paul, here's what Paul is saying. We know that there are mineral resources that are untapped in Nasarawa State, in Bauchi State, in Borno State, in Katsina, in Zamfara.
Yeah.
We know that those things exist. We know that also exists in Sokoto, gold, and all the rest. What he's saying is that since you have come to Niger Delta and you are drilling the oil based on the fact that you are federal government, also, and that natural resources belong to federal government. Now, also do the same. Go to those states, set up factories of that magnitude, employ Nigerians, employ people who check, people who quality managers and all that, and let them also excavate those things. Bring
Yeah.
the result to the center. Let us all share. That is what he's simply saying. You have these things, you're not using it, but you are busy
God
making
bless
sure
you,
that
KJ.
every other
Thank
one
you.
on the south is being taken and shared. And look, let me tell you, the day Nigeria say that the south says, let us also go to the north now and do everything the same way we're doing in the south, we will divide. Go and mark my word.
I think Nigerian state has become very crafty at mismanaging the state, at least till date anyway. No matter where you go, you are going to have problems. I just feel like we criticize the government when they do something, and we criticize them when they don't. Personally, I think we should be looking at the bigger things. Like, okay, first, the federal government should be able to do things like, organize the state properly. Because if you start arguing that, oh, one, we should not employ people, because the federal government is too big. In reality, it's not that big. It means that you are not as informed as you should be regarding the debates that they are having in the country. If you say federal government should not have more resources, that is not the right argument to be having. You should be having the argument like you just made just now, the last one you made. They should leverage the resources that they have and set up industries so that people can actually start earning. Everybody can start earning. Whether it's through private, whether they do it themselves, one way or another, they have to do it well, because it's clear that there's evidence that federal government can do it themselves, or many times state government can do it too. In Nigeria, we even have a recent one that just occurred with Dangote Refinery that shows that a private company can actually do it well. So we can do any all of them. It's just that the state is not functioning. But when we start arguing that, let's make the center weaker, let's sack more federal workers, they are too big, and all those things, we are thinking like Americans without actually checking the numbers. We think like Americans because we see that the states in America seem to be very powerful. But in reality, the federal government is far more powerful than, in terms of proportionality, than this thing. The federal government in America is more powerful than the states, because Nigerian governors are immune. And from what I checked, they even keep more resources compared to American government. So I don't know. I think some of the things that this president is doing right now in terms of this tax reform, it might reshape Nigeria to an extent like the kind of structure America has. in terms of taking money through tax. Because if you can take money through tax, let the state own what they want to own. Because you can take claw all that money back from them through tax. That's what Americans are doing. And maybe that's a clever thing for them to do. Who knows? I just feel like that debate, we tend to have it a lot. And when I checked the numbers, I was shocked. When I checked the number that American government keeps 60 to 65%, because the way many Americans in America talk about this is you think the states control everything. That shocked me. Paul, no, not Paul. I mean, Tony. Okay, thank you for joining us. I don't know what you make of this debate. I don't know whether we can move on to another one, because it looks like this part of the debate, in terms of the share, revenue share, and the tax bill, is becoming a little bit controversial in Nigeria. Do you think it's going to pass?
Well, I don't know. It will be controversial because everybody is looking for how much more it can get. Nobody wants to get less than it's been getting before. And the state governments particularly, we talk so much about the federal government, but the state government, I don't think there's a lot more focus on them and what they do with the resources they get with the revenue they get from the states, from the federal. So I think the issue really is that the present formula actually is not encouraging the states to look inwards and generate their own revenue, because if they can, to hell with the federal government, whether it gets or not, they wouldn't care. So, and that's why you have places like Zamfara, which is one of the poorest states, if not the poorest in the country, yet in terms of endowment, it is richly endowed with solid minerals. So if we develop a mechanism or rejig, this revenue formula in a way that it would encourage the states to look inwards and do more for themselves than look on the federal government, I think we'll do better. But apart from that, I like I said in the previous, when we had this discussion in the platform, Dr. Damages, you see, there are certain contentious issues that have been included in the tax bill, and that is part of what is generating a lot of worry. Things like population, things like landmass, things like VAT, even the way it's operated, and who collects what and who shouldn't collect. So I think that we really need to tinker with some of those things, and because there's for me, if you look at if you dissect them, you'll see, things for me I think are unfair. The Niger Delta, for instance, you can give it 100% derivation, but those areas, I think KJ mentioned the issues of environmental degradation, the challenges that have been caused as a result of companies prospecting for oil, and all the environmental hazards that are being caused are not addressed. So even though the states get more, the people don't feel it. So what's the point? And there's no way, no institution that really goes down to find out what the state's government do with the amount of money they've collected over the years from the federal. But if they can look inwards and begin to use their internally generated and develop resources within, it will create jobs. It will address some of these issues that we're talking about, rather than just looking at the federal government. You sit down. That is feeding bottle economics, as far as I'm concerned. Federal government gets, and then you work. Federal government doesn't get, you don't do anything, and then the excuse is that you didn't get anything from federal government. It's not going to work that way. It won't work that way. So and then this whole suspicion as to what's really behind this new bill that is being, are there some personal interests? All those things are all factored in there. And then that tells you that the nation really is not working, because tax, is good. I mean, if it's properly structured, but where it becomes an issue, and our legislators spend time to begin to debate whether we accept it, whether we won't accept it, whether you raise this one, you don't raise this one. That tells you, I mean, this is like a piece of a graveyard because nobody is really satisfied. Just okay, let us just allow it pass. But for me, I don't think that's we really need to go down and take these issues one by one. Uh, for instance, take the issue of population, which is embedded in derivation. I mean, you get for your population in terms of your size, you get the certain percentage that is given to you for population, and that's why, for instance, the census have become political because it's tied to derivation. Whereas the census is supposed to help you to give you statistics that you need to be able to plan. And nobody looks at that. So you just put a figure that the United Nations gives to you, and then on the basis of that, you now begin to calculate, and work out. That's you can't. That's wrong. You don't know what the your population. You don't know the size. Even the
But
demographic. When
why do we keep saying we don't know the population? If we cannot
we
tell
have
the
an estimate.
population,
We have an estimate of
yeah, yeah, but
who we
the
have.
moment
What
you
we
have
have.
an estimate, the moment you have the moment you count them, the birth rate will change, or people will have children, and you don't. It becomes an estimate again. So I don't know why we
Yes,
keep acting as if
if you
we
have,
have
we
to
talked
be
about
precise.
we, we talked about this a long time ago. You see, if you have various sources, we don't have a central data place. Even the NIN is not doing that, capturing that. We have data from the banks, people who are banking, you have people deaths, births, you have all sorts of population, you have people traveling, you have all those data. But it's not harmonized. You don't have a central data where you can, maybe 99% say yes, this is the data, it's not updated. So how can you plan with that? That's not data. That's somebody just telling you who you are, giving you a figure, and then we just accept it. Some people say, for
But
instance,
now
population.
with actual data though, like from BVN, NIN, and BVN, you can actually tell when it is active in Nigeria because the person is using the account. So all these
Yeah,
things, yeah.
yeah, but how many people? That's for the city. Even in the city, how many people really have bank accounts for BVN? How many people have a bank? In the north, they don't put money. Nobody has time. The trader, even in the city, does not have the market woman doesn't put her money in the bank, and he has to spend years, or she can't even get money if when she wants to trade cash at hand to buy, what she needs. Nobody goes there. Even those of us who even go there, you can't even get money. You go to POS. That's funny. I don't know. You can't get the money in the bank, but you can. If you go to POS, you probably get everything that you want. So that's pseudo economics. That's not how you cannot plan with that type of thing. You just can't plan. I don't
Mm.
understand what economics that is. You can't plan. You have an estimate. So whatever you do is just an estimate. You can't have some people say our population is 200, some say it's 220, some say it's 250, some say it's so how do you plan? So you just say between this and that. So that's what we're talking about. But in some places, in more developed countries, they can tell you precisely this is a figure, and you can have 1, 2, or 3%, plus one or minus one, difference. But here you can't say that. You can't make that projection, and
I,
it's critical for
I'm
planning.
sorry to say I can, and most statisticians that know how to use these numbers will, because we have data. I don't know why we keep saying we don't have data. We have BVN, we have NIN. When I go to Nigeria, I can't even get a mobile phone without getting they can't take my fingerprint, for crying out loud. And my phones are connected to my NIN. Literally, here in the UK, it doesn't have to be. They link your phone to your NIN in Nigeria. Nigeria is very data driven. I don't know why we keep saying it doesn't exist. It does exist, but that's
Listen,
just me anyway.
i-
Um,
if I
uh,
if I key in if I key in now, I say I want to know how many people fly in and out of Mutai Mohammed Airport on a daily basis. You can't get that data. You can't get
I
that
don't
data.
know. They probably account. I think if you don't have that, American government will not allow you fly. I think you probably have to have that as
No, you
as a
don't have
requirement.
that data of the traffic.
Mm,
How many people come in, how many people go out, and which countries are they
I
going
think
to,
you
and
have
so on
to
and so
have that.
forth.
I think you have to have that for international travel. You have to have that. American government, yeah, we will not be able to travel to many countries in the world if you cannot count the people that are coming in or going out. At
You
least,
can collect those data from the airlines and so on and so forth. But in terms of a central data where this is stored and just at the at the button, you get this. It's not there. That's what I'm saying. The data, you have data all scattered all over the place that are not harmonized. You don't have. Yeah, I mean, and that's not the way
But
it operates here. For as far as I know,
let me let
that's
me
not
bring
the way.
let me yeah, I hear what you are saying, but well, that's your opinion, I guess. I think it's Andrew that came next. Andrew, thank you for joining us. I was just trying to highlight that this tax bill in Nigeria, um, when we say we want it, we tend to shift the argument to the federal government should give the states more resources and autonomy to control their natural resources. I think maybe there's some truth there. What do you make of it?
Yeah, thank you. Well, the question is, to me, even if they give the state autonomy to control their resources, would they? After all,
Well, they will.
the
Which day
state,
will take over?
there's a bill for the states to generate electricity. Have they done that? The answer is no. So, uh, it's the argument we will continue to have this argument. Like I said, it's done. It's all in our hands. It's in the hands of the people, the citizens, to make this change possible. We had this discussion, Kimi and KJ 2 days ago, and uh, Otsi, that the citizens have to start to take responsibility. I'm not saying leadership doesn't have their own issues. Of course, they do have their own issues. I mean, the states, even if the federal government has not given them autonomy right now, and the states they have some resources, they generate resources. But they can't say all the resources they generate is sent to the federal government. Now, let's be realistic with ourselves. They get funds from the federal government, state funds, security, and everything. They get all these funds. What have they done with it? What have they done with the funds so far? So let's look at the little things first before we start clamoring for the bigger one at the end of the day. They've done nothing with it.
I
And
think maybe
here,
that's what people are saying, though. They are saying that because the states are getting from the center, that the states should be generating their own and they shouldn't have to rely on the center for even the one that they get. They should be the
okay,
one giving to the
what
center.
for that? Who is stopping the state? Is anyone stopping the state? This is a sincere question I'm asking. Is anyone stopping the state from generating? The states do generate money.
Not that I
They
know of.
generate revenue.
Apart from when the government decides to devalue the naira and throw the economy into chaos.
So,
Uh,
so,
so
so what you're saying is the state, like for example, Lagos State does not generate revenue on its own.
no, they do. They do.
How about River State?
I think
How
Rivers State
about
does.
Bayelsa State? How about Delta
They
State?
all do, not just not enough. That's the
What do you
problem.
mean it's not enough?
They
What
don't have
what do you
enough.
how do you define enough, please, if you don't
Like
mind me
they,
asking?
at least from the point of view of the people, ownership matters. I think that's what they like. You have to have right to control mining,
Okay. Uh, uh,
your natural resources.
okay. You, they want the right to control the resources. Okay,
Yeah,
let's say that's the argument. They don't have the right now to control these resources, but they
I think
control
that's the
certain
argument.
things. They
Yes,
control certain things. They control certain things
yes,
that generate revenue. So what
yes.
have they used that little revenue to do? That's the question.
I can Lagos. You can argue for Lagos though. Lagos, you can see some of the money, but all the other states, I don't know what they are doing with their money. Oh.
Even what the federal government gives them, what do they use it for? The allocation they get from the federal government. What is it used for?
Mm. Bayelsa one, that one is one of the worst, really, because they get a
Exactly.
lot of
That is
money.
my state.
Mm.
Okay, where we don't have. If I will only
Mm.
have one road in, one road out.
Yeah, here they have only one flyover too. So
Is there flyover? I remember that is there. I don't know if there's a
they got one
flyover.
recently. This
I'm
is really
just.
sad, man. This is
It's
the place
one
they
road
plant
in,
oil first in Nigeria.
one road out.
Unbelievable. Wow.
to
Talk
get
about
to get
marginalization.
water there is a problem. So when you say they don't have, they listen, but they have money. Recently, the road leading to my own town, the flood kind of split the road into two.
Oh my
But
God.
because my time is after Ogoni land, it's kind of split the road into. So listen, I'm not,
Oh,
like I said, I won't come here and be blaming leaders. I think I'm done and dusted
mm,
with that. We have to start to take responsibility as citizens because these leaders come from us. So meaning that if I get there today, if I don't have a reform mind, I won't be different from Tinubu. I won't
yeah.
be different from Wike. I won't be different from Abbas. I won't be different from the people that we are criticizing today. Yeah, somebody said there's no flyover. I was surprised when you said there's a flyover
I
in
thought there
Bayelsa
was
State.
one. No, I could have sworn there was one. When people keep talking about marginalization, this is what I call true marginalization.
In fact, they
This is
don't
the
know what.
place they first found oil in Nigeria. You don't have one flyover.
Uh,
Aye, that's painful. Are
Listen,
you
first of all, let's
sure?
forget about flyover. To get a pipe bone water, people still buy water. All this malam that push their truck with jerry cans, in, that's what people buy. They still
Wow,
buy there, surrounded with water.
wow.
So if we're not easy, but the thing is that it is, I will not pick my state and say, oh, my state is marginalized. No, every part of that country was are marginalized. It doesn't matter whether it's Edo State or it's Lagos State or what, we are all marginalized.
Yeah, but
So
that one is bad though. That one is
it is
especially
enough.
bad.
It is time we stop blaming our leaders. It is time we stop it.
Hmm.
Because while the power rests with us. Take, for example, what happened in Lagos State, the Lagos State speaker that was impeached. On what basis did they use? They used the constitution, the same constitution. Some people come here and say the constitution is our problem, the constitution is our problem, the constitution is a fraud. They use the same constitution.
Hmm.
And we citizens that we have power also in that constitution, we fail to use it. Some people will come here that have never even opened the constitution, says that the constitution is our problem. If the constitution is changed, then the miracle will happen. KJ will not become president as soon as we change the constitution, isn't it, KJ?
Why are we
what
blaming KJ?
what what no, no,
KJ, that
I,
your pose, that your pose is classic. Oh. I
I
think they
think
need to
it's
take
possible.
that your pose is classic. They need to take a picture of
As
it.
soon as we change the constitution, KJ will become president.
You know
I
what?
don't
That
I don't
pose is
understand.
a Nigerian Wahala pose.
I don't understand. Like I said, for me personally, I can talk about leaders, but I'm not going to blame them anymore. We can scream all we want to scream. It's all in our hands. It rests in our hands, not
Mm,
anybody's hands. So if they can impeach that man in 24 hours, if not less than 24 hours, on the ground of gross misconduct, why
mm.
can't the president be impeached on the grounds of misconduct, gross misconduct?
Yeah, somebody's asking this question though.
Why
Like, who
can't
stopped
after
Bayelsans?
you?
Why do Bayelsans not make bit more noise about to their governors and their leaders about the development in that state? It's astounding though. They get the resources, they get all this stuff, and there is barely any development. They are one of the least developed parts of the southern region of Nigeria. Why?
So it's the same thing. It's the why? It's all why everywhere. So who's gonna after why? Who's gonna tell the Z or give the Z?
Wow.
So
Okay. Oh.
here we have the citizens believe that things that we don't have responsibility. That is
Mm,
where we are. We think we don't have responsibility. And the more we continue to think that way, the more things will go bad every blessed day. Take it or leave it. I'm a great
mm,
believer of Nigeria. I still believe in it in spite of my position that I have taken. But no matter what, no matter how, we may argue from now till thy kingdom come. We may blame the tax reform, whatever reform they do, this and that. Things will not change. I'm not being pessimistic here. Things will only change when the citizens, and I repeat, when the citizens rise up to the occasion.
mm.
When you and I decide to say, well, enough is enough. and we start to invoke the provisions of the Constitution, the same Constitution that they use to impeach. They said it. If you listen to the speech, we rest on the Constitution. It works for them. Why is it not working for us? Because we've not used it. We've not used it.
Hmm.
We've
That's
not used it.
ultimately you are correct
So,
there.
sorry, apology. Somebody say, some people come here, they say, oh, our constitution is shaping after the constitution of the United States. It works for them. Why is it not working for us? If it works for them, why is it not working for us? So is it the fault of even is everything in this life is copy and paste? Let's be factual. If you're going to write a new constitution today, it will be copy and 80% of that
Mhm.
section will be
Of
copy and
course,
paste.
if you have to write it from scratch, all your leaders are going to go white hair.
Copy and paste. You have to
But,
check. You
let
take
me
the
ask
British
you
constitution.
though.
Why?
Let me ask you though. Don't you think that it has more to do with our general awareness? Because we don't like. I didn't know. There are many things I didn't know myself. So, and we are overseas. We've seen everything overseas, but we just see overseas and we think we can just recommend something for Nigeria because it's similar. But the things we recommend, what I find is that it's often erroneous because we don't
Can you
necessarily know
cite
the
an
details.
example? Can you cite an example, please?
An example is when Nigerians say they want the state to be cut down. They want things to be like another one is they want the states to have more share of their resources. The federal government should get less. But in reality, most of these other
Can I
nations.
please respond to Niger?
All right, go ahead. I'm not the moderator. I finished talking. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, what is it
Can
you
I
want
please
to?
respond to Niger?
Yeah, go ahead.
Amori, the floor is yours.
Hello, can you guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. I think I'm having a network issues.
Change
To
your
Niger,
network.
I
Change your
think
network.
we deliberated on this particular issue a few days ago, and we had enough time because we're not many. We had a lot. You're missing something up. I am taken aback when you compare America to Nigeria, where there is a sense of true federalism. The oil in Texas, for example, belongs to Texas as a state, and they pay royalty to the center. The resources in Florida belong to Florida, and they pay royalty, certain percentage to the center. When you compare Nigeria with America, I don't know where you're getting your comparison from. And again, there was something you said that day about four of us were like trying to correct your position, and you repeated the same thing today. I don't know if we listen to ourselves when we talk, or we just talk sometimes to cure our boredom or depression or emotions. You said people are complaining of federal government employing too many people. When people are clamoring actually for more employment, when people are saying there's no employment, you repeated the same thing today. And we made you to understand on that day that it's not about the employment, federal employees, it's about the size and cost of governance. It's different from federal employees. You came here today, you repeated exactly the same thing. Nobody is complaining about federal government employing too many people. They're not even employing. The few they employ, they are social doctors and their cronies. They are family friends and what have you. That's what they put in NNPC and central bank and what have you. Now you missing a lot of things up. I mean, I don't get where that analogy is coming from.
It's a shame. The analogy is coming from what Nigerians say repeatedly. They keep saying it, and when he says cost of governance, that is what it is tied to. They have to pay staff for that are working for government. They have to administer all these ministries. That's where all this cost is coming from. And when you say you want to reduce the cost of
Further,
government, then that is where you are saying they should reduce the state.
for further, I think I'm going to disagree with you that the cost is coming from. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not. Do
Oh
I
no,
have
go
the
ahead
floor?
though. You, of course, yeah,
Apology.
because we are trying to get to some depth on this issue, so you can go ahead.
Okay. The cost of governance can be coming from employing civil servant because some of them are not even being paid or have not been paid for months now. The cost of governance is coming from from this where the cause is CURSE, which is the lawmakers, the executive. It's not about employees, the amount of people they are employed. That's where they are spending. Where's the evidence that they are spending the money? That's where the cost is coming
The
from.
cost of governance, let me read what the cost of governance means. It says the cost of governance of a nation includes the money spent on public services, social security, government investments. This is why I keep
Okay,
saying we need to,
let's
don't you
take two
think we need
things.
to learn
No,
more
let's
about
take
these
two things
things?
you've mentioned. Let's take two
Yeah.
things you've mentioned. Do we have social security in Nigeria?
We don't, but we have it in a different form. That's what they mean.
In what form? In what form?
Like road repairs,
Which road? Which
infrastructure.
road? Which
Um,
road? You last time you went to Nigeria, which road has been repaired? Which road did you see that was repaired?
Are you traveling on a bush path when you go to Nigeria? Is he on
Father,
the
don't
bush
do
path?
this. This is why people call you
Walk?
out.
Do you
No,
watch?
no, no.
Do you walk out
Father,
of
this
bush
is
plane?
why people call
Why
you
do we
out.
say this thing?
You know the state of the roads in
I
Nigeria.
know
Come
it's
on,
bad,
don't do
but it's
this.
not zero. You see, that's the thing.
Father,
Even
it's
if it's
zero.
bad, it's not zero.
Father, it is
You
zero.
are getting what you paid for. See, the UK spends 1. No.
I yield the floor back.
No. I'm gonna let's be logical about it. The UK spends 1.4 trillion every year, dollars on its economy. Are the roads paved with gold? Nigeria
The roads are not paved. The roads are not paved with gold, but the roads are well maintained. The roads are not
yes,
paved
but
with
compared
gold,
to how
but they are
much they
well
spend.
maintained.
Okay.
Which road
Yes,
in Nigeria?
forefathers,
Which road in Nigeria?
forefathers,
Okay.
they will if they collect that much revenue in the UK. I'm not in the UK. They know that the population will hold them accountable for how those funds are
Accountable.
used.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you don't have that situation here.
I don't understand where you are getting
You see,
your argument from, or your theories
you see, a lot of
facts.
you'll be surprised that in some communities, the roads that they have are the roads that were built even pre-independence. In some communities in Nigeria,
That's true.
after 60 years,
Yeah,
and yet
see,
they are part of the country.
but
Yeah,
that's
they're
the
part of the
symptom of a
country. So
I
the
don't
local
understand your
government, the
argument,
state, the federal
to be honest.
government.
Tony, that is a
So
symptom
the
of a
local
bigger
government,
problem now. That is not necessarily
yes.
due
So,
to size of government. It's the symptom of the fact that we don't have a law of resources. That is what is giving us that type
What
of
do you mean we don't
government.
have a law of resources? What
I don't
grammar is
understand. I don't understand
what
you.
Trying to understand where I'm coming from.
what,
You guys are
what
trying to be just deliberately misunderstanding me here.
Father?
no. It boils down to this
I'm
whole
saying Nigeria
issue
is a poor
of
country in terms of budget. Our budget is too low.
Our budget is too
no,
low.
no, no.
Father.
Yes.
You know, if you were in the public space, I would be the first person to say, "Stone you to death. Pick the stone
Hey,
and stone this
hey,
man
look
to
at that!
death."
Look at that! You want to say because I'm telling you the truth. Eh? You spent
Forefathers,
$28 billion.
the truth is that the government that the governments all over the ages since independence they have not demonstrated that they are good management of resources. It's not even the quantum of resources that you have that is important here. It is how you manage even the little that you have. So and that's a very, very critical issue.
But
But
you
the
can
other
argue
side of
that
it is that nobody is held
Hold on.
accountable.
Slow down, Tony. You can argue that what we get now, what we see in Nigeria is what we paid for. Because can you compare? Nigeria spends this year's budget is $28 billion. The UK is going to spend $1.4 trillion. What do you expect? If you go to a shop, you spend 10 naira, the other guy comes and spends 1,000 naira. Who is going to get more? I don't
Okay, let me
understand.
ask you
What
a
do you
question.
expect to see?
Let me ask you a question. Are you saying that all the resources that the state, the local government, and the federal get, that they're properly accounted for, that they actually go to the purse? There are no leakages?
Yes. See, there are leakages, but if you look
Okay.
at, even if what I'm trying to let you understand, even if there are zero leakages, it's still not enough. We need to generate more. That is the
Forefather.
problem we are facing. It's
Okay.
a
Can
it's a
can
deeper
somebody
problem.
else say something? Forefather,
Yeah,
you're the
yeah, yeah.
moderator of the
Oh yeah,
program.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will sign off
Oga
from
Ike
here.
is there. Sorry
I
about
don't
that.
know
Sorry about that. I
what
didn't think
dumb
you were interested
argument
in
is being
tax
made
rate.
here because this argument is dumb. I don't understand what you are trying to confuse people here with your argument.
Forefather.
I don't know where you're
Why
coming
these
from,
people keep calling me
right?
dumb?
For,
I'm here.
for,
I'm one of the best scholars here. I'm here
for,
to learn, and I'm learning new things every day. I hear you.
let me
Please
say
go
this.
ahead.
First of
Mr.
all,
Sanusi
you first
mentioned
of all,
some of the
when
roads
when when
in
brother Tony was telling you about the census in Nigeria that we don't have census, you are arguing. You argue for more than 30 minutes. We don't have census in Nigeria. You are just trying to be dumb for nothing. You know the truth.
We don't
You
have
know the
sense to it.
fact.
Doesn't mean you can't count people.
You know the facts and you know the truth, and you're trying to drag us to go to where we're not supposed to go. We don't have real census in Nigeria, do we? It's a simple fact, everybody know. So why do you have to drag us into so many places just
Because
trying to make a point?
Oga,
Yeah, every time you
there
compare
are
us
other
with
ways of counting
every time
people
you
without
compare us,
using
if you
census.
don't
see
bring America, you bring Britain to compare Nigeria with. I mean, look, come on, let's just
I
face
can bring
what is
other
facing us.
countries, though.
Huh?
forefather. It's only in Nigeria that there are more people in Kano than you have in Lagos State. It's only in Nigerian geography. It doesn't exist any other place when you leave Nigeria. But let's go back to what we've been talking about. Listen, look, here in the US, they say where I live, they do the road twice in a year, during the snow and after the snow. Now, after the snow, because of salt, they are going to put to check the snow to make it melt almost immediately. Most of the roads are chopped off. But as soon as the snow is over, you see them back on that same road. They don't even stop traffic. You see them retire in that same road. It probably be like a 6 months, So you see them retire every part that has any issue, and you don't even need to go and beg them. And the governor don't or the mayor don't come to the television and take hours to talk about how incredible he is. He was able to tie 90-kilometer road east, 90 kilometers southwest. So we are still living in mundane times and situation. We are still living in a time where people in government see themselves as doing the people a favor. Tony said something. Tony said something some minutes ago. I'm one of those people who come from a community where the road that is there was tied by the colonial masters. It's still there. They
Yeah,
are
you
not
see, you see,
wasted.
you see, you wonder why we cannot tie road when you're calling
No,
other
I'm
people
not. I'm not
masters. That's
wondering.
where it starts from.
Next time I'm coming. That's
Eh?
where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Thank you for
You're
reminding me
calling
that.
other
I'm
people
not wondering.
masters. You expect to
Listen to
be able
me.
to take
Listen to me.
responsibility.
Listen to me, Mr. Forefather. Since I was born and I started reading budget till today, government is still budgeting for chairs every year, cutleries, pots, furnitures, SUVs, okay,
Mm.
ACs, fans. They are still budgeting for oddlies, for light entertainment.
Is that a
I'm
strange
coming, sir.
thing?
I'm coming, sir. Heavy entertainment. They are still budgeting for. In fact, let me shock you, forefather. In the FCT, they are still budgeting for the residence of the president. The FCT minister pays for the residence of the president. The question we asked 3 or 4 years ago is that who owns Aso Villa? Since we are paying for it, the Nigerian government is budgeting for rent. For that, that is how corrupt we are. So when you say
Mm.
these things, a local government chairman is elected who doesn't even have the list of the cars I can call in Nigeria, which is a B2.
Mm.
But once he come in, he will contact Toyota and they will bring him SUV, bulletproof. Okay, and you think there's no problem with us? Now that money, if they take that money and implement it, I will not have the road built by colonial masters in my community.
Why do you insist on using masters for other men?
That is what it is. Let's not
You
go
want
there.
to start calling me master? I
Let's
will change
mention
my
it.
name to master now because at this
Listen,
rate,
listen.
since you are looking for masters, you might as well
Governor,
start calling me a
you like
master.
to
Eh?
divert people's attention.
Stop
Look, let
calling
me tell you
Oyibo
something.
people masters.
We still have colonial masters in Nigeria till tomorrow. They are the new colonial
No, no,
masters.
no colonial masters. We
We
have
have
greedy
Tinubu
politicians.
and the governors of the each state in Nigeria. They are now the colonial masters because they took over the GRAs and they took over the services of the colonial masters, and they're still treating Nigerians as if
Yeah.
they are under a colony.
When you are
they not
calling
colonial
grown
masters?
men, no, if you see a criminal, you call them a criminal. Don't call them masters.
Which criminal?
You are setting a wrong precedence.
No.
When your children are hearing you call grown men masters.
So forefather, calm down. I thought you had
You can't be calling people masters. You want to take responsibility, and you are not calling yourself a master of your own destiny.
Hold on, forefather. The new colonial masters in Africa are our political leaders. Have I made my point clear?
They are not necessarily, because they were never masters.
Okay.
You see, that's your thinking. You are calling them masters.
I'm coming.
The people that were calling them masters were defeated people. Are you a defeated person?
You like to deal with the nomenclature so much.
Because it matters. You are setting an example for the young.
Excuse me, forefather. Because I call you sir, does it mean that you have any power or authority over me? Because I say yes, sir.
No, sir is a term of respect. Master is a term of domination. You are saying other people have dominated you.
I don't think so.
That's what it is. Master. No. If I show you the definition of master, it tells you exactly what you need to know.
But back to what we are talking about, I'm simply saying that the situation that we Nigerians find ourselves now is a situation where if we properly budget our money, majority of what our communities are suffering today will not be suffering it. I said here that since I started knowing how to read budget till today, Nigeria is still budgeting for cutleries, for new chairs, for spoons, for pots, for gas cookers, for housing, for ACs, for fans, for cutlery.
Where do you think they learned it from? They do it in Trump is going to do it now in America. Trump, the house, the place Trump lives in, the federal government of the US pays for it, even in his hotel.
No, sir, you are. You see, that's why I said stop comparing. American operates at a different level altogether.
You see,
forefathers, you are very wrong.
Forefathers now. Trump,
forefathers, you are.
US government.
Can I finish my sentence? I leave you guys because I don't think I want to be part of this.
You know what? Let's allow Oga Ike to see Oga Ike. Oga Ike, I'm not going to interrupt you, and nobody should interrupt him because he has a strong view. Please don't attack me too much. People are saying you you keep coming after me. Go ahead, Oga Ike.
I'm not trying to attack nobody. I'm trying to be factual and honest because you should also understand that all of us are Nigerians. We didn't fall from the sky. So sometimes when we are discussing about issues in Nigeria, we shouldn't discuss the issue from Nigeria like none of us don't know what is going on in Nigeria. We're all Nigerians. Nobody fall from the sky. We live in that country. That's our country. So when somebody is trying to be factual, you just have to accept it. Stop using your AI information and the security of trying to confuse people here. You understand what I mean? Before AI came and the other stuff, we have information on how things work. I mean, somebody talked about census here. You begin to argue a lot. So we're talking about now the revenue, the cost of governance. You quote one quote about what it means to be cost of governance, right? We are talking about masters now. You quote what master is. But if somebody is not your master and somebody is not your boss in the office, I don't know what your director in a company where you work, what he is to you, right? So, I mean, let's try to confuse people with all this because a lot of people are listening, right? If my boss in the office, I am not the managing director of where I work, he's my boss. I am working under him, so it's my boss. I don't own the company where I'm working now, so who am I? Who the man who owns it, who is it to me? I mean, come on, it's a simple thing we should be able to understand, right? So on the issue of the tax something, listen, I think I partially agree with what CM was saying earlier when I went away from here because, you know, I was watching on TV or social media where people in the Kano were destroying the people who are selling drinks, who are selling beers. They were destroying them and throwing them into the waste bin, right? Because of their religious faith. You don't like beer. But people in the south or other part of the north will say beer and you take part of the money. KJ was talking about it before. If the beer is haram to you, the money that comes from that beer also should be haram to you.
It also be
right?
haram.
What do you call it? Right. So I think that we should, the governors and the politicians in the north should be ashamed of themselves that with all the natural gift that God has given them, they could not develop, they could not use their mineral resources to better the life of their people. They are waiting the national cake and the money that comes from oil. So if you know you don't like beer, and if they say the people, the state that are selling the beer, when they sell the money, they divide and bring for you, and you collect the money. I mean, we shouldn't be fooling ourselves, right? Even though the governors, we know that the money that the people don't ask them about the money they are given and the money they spend. But the state that are producing whatever they have should be able to have control of the whatever that come from their state. That's the point. So I automatically kind of 95% agree with CM submission, right? Because everything's federal government, the federal government, everything is in their hand. So if the state are producing like River State or Akwa Ibom or Cross River State, they should be able to manage what they have and give the, let's say, government, the federal government take 5% or 10%. I cannot produce more and you take everything from me in the name of federal government. So states should be able to manage what they have, right? Somebody talked about, is it Borno State where the gold is being mined? There's no flying zone in Borno State. So how are they selling the gold? They are selling the gold with the Chinese people, with people from Saudi Arabia. They are selling the gold on the black market. Nobody has given us account of the money they make from the gold that they do over there in that state. And we're talking about the resources of people from the south. We share it equally. Why you don't like what the people in the south said? Because your religion is against that. You don't want them to do that business. But if the money comes from the business, you become part of it. How is it going to be possible? Right? So please, forefathers, I beg you, we all understand what cost of governance means, right? Your government is building a vice president, house. When your president is going about, he has more than 100 cars going with him, one person. When the state governors are traveling, they have more than 50 cars traveling with them, one person. It's the same money that we're using to fuel the cars. It's the same money that we're going to use to maintain those cars are not just Tokumbo cars, right? KJ was making a comparison. They still make a budget for newspaper. Federal government makes budget for newspaper, right? So listen, let's just be honest. We need a court of governance. It's not about the size of the workers in the federal government is not the problem. It's because of where they spend money that is unnecessary. They put money that is not going to be beneficial to anybody. Because if those wasted money that they're wasting in things that is not supposed to be yielding anything for Nigerians, and they're putting that money to the welfare of Nigeria, it doesn't matter how many civil servants we have, we can be able to pay their salary. That's the point, my brother. It's not about security. Somebody asked you, do we have security? No, we don't have. But a lot of billions and billions of dollars been budgeted in security. But do we have security? No. Do we have good road in Nigeria? No, we don't have. It's true. Like KJ is saying, we all live in a developed world. When they do, KJ said 2 times in a year, they do in their state, that is the same thing is applicable to most countries of the world. After snow, and after
can I ask a question?
Ask me a question.
Yeah, in your opinion, how much do you think are the max is stolen in Nigeria every year?
I am not a mathematician, and I'm
not. He can't tell you the exact amount. He can give you percentage.
Proportion of the budget that they bring out. Let's say they bring out $100 billion budget. How much do you think is stolen from there every year?
It may not be how much. You can't. That's the wrong question. It's my percentage, but not really. Not.
It's not you. When it comes to you, but I want to get his own opinion because I'm trying to understand what he perceives of the mismanagement.
No, I understand what you say, but the question is the wrong question. It's the wrong question. That's what I'm saying.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Let the guy answer because I just want to get an idea. Let's say you have $100 billion as budget. how much do you think the Nigerian politicians are stealing from it? Mismanagement is something else, but the one that they are stealing from it.
Let me try to answer. Let me try to answer, Mr. Ike, if you allow me.
Mr. Tony,
Yes, the president has presented the 2025 budget, right? But you know that even the 2024 budget has not been fully executed. So where is that money going to go?
The question still remains: how much do you think is being stolen versus
I
how much is
can't give you
actually
in
being?
terms. I cannot put in terms of
No,
figures, but I think what
let
I
me let
What
me
for that?
answer
You
you.
have problem.
I'm
what
talking
I
about
Let me
percentage. I'm talking
answer
about
you.
percentage now, not
Forefather,
figures.
forefather,
Percentage.
forefather.
no, because
As at
what Ike is
2019.
trying to
Hold on,
say,
hold
what
on.
that's a difficult question. What
As
Ike
at
is trying
hold
to
on,
say,
hold on,
The wrong
hold on.
question.
As at 2019,
well,
hold on. As at 2019, 582 billion have been stolen from Nigeria till today. 582 billion. At the time I was doing my masters, we calculated that from independence to the time of my masters, I'm not going to tell you, was the money that had been stolen from Nigeria could have developed Africa. And that's a well-known fact. It could have developed the whole of Africa. And at that time, it was about 500 and something trillion dollars had been stolen from Africa, which was enough. And this book that we're quoting from, I'm trying to remember the author, was written by a white man who said that the money they've stolen from Africa, from Nigeria alone, could have developed the whole of Africa, if and made it a
Yeah,
is it
from
from the federal
500 and
government
something
or
trillion is a little
from the
bit
federal
out
government or from all the? Is it from
no,
the federal
No,
from
no,
government
all
or
the
no.
from
resources,
No,
all the
no. You mean
states?
from
everything
African
stolen
resources?
from
African
Nigeria,
resources,
federal
Africa,
government,
not Nigeria.
and the resources stolen from Nigeria, federal
Yeah,
government and
but
resources stolen from Nigeria.
everybody seems to be answering the question that was asked to Oga Ike. Can we allow him to answer the question about, in terms of percentage, you don't have to give a precise number because that is not fair. In terms
no,
of percentage, how much do
forefather,
you think?
sorry, forefather, I do not have any answer to give you. Okija, you can continue.
Is
Forefathers.
he all these people? Is he the
No,
attitude
but
people
forefathers,
they show here?
listen, the
Eh?
forefathers. Truth be told, no. To be fair to him, that is the wrong question. I swear to God, trust me. For
Yeah,
it to be
but
fair to him, that's the wrong question.
if you keep, if you see, when people keep saying stuff about the state and how things are not working and they are stealing the money here, they are stealing the money there, I want to have an idea because if after you've said all those things, then what if somebody tells you that even if all that money that was stolen was spent on the state, you are still not going to get anything so dissimilar to what you're having now?
No, that's
Then
not true, forefather.
that
But I
forces you
just
to
told you
think.
how much have been stolen. I just told you how much have been stolen from
It's not
2019.
500 and something trillion dollars. There's no way we can do that because even
I said
American.
$582 billion have been stolen from
From when?
Nigeria
From
since
Nigeria?
2019 to date.
20,
Hmm? For
2018 to date,
KG,
500. Where do you see that kind of
KG, say
money
wait.
now?
KG, from where to where? Hold on, KG, from where to where? Sorry.
From 2018 to date in Nigeria billionaires have stolen 500 and something billion dollars.
Father, let other people speak now. Kija is here.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
You think
yeah.
we are here to you think you are a
Look at that. Look at that.
football team?
Yeah,
Forefathers,
yeah, yeah. Oh no, Tony.
forefathers,
Okay, I think Tony. Okay, or let allow other people say something because Okija
I
has said
haven't
everything.
spoken now. I
You
haven't
have
spoken
spoken.
now.
Hey, Tony. Okay, you have spoken.
No,
You have spoken.
I
Let,
was just intervening.
no,
I
they
haven't
came
really
before you.
spoken.
They came before you. I think let's allow Tony Okija have his say. He's been very, very gentlemanly. He hasn't said anything. Please welcome
Okay.
Okija. Go ahead. It's about the tax reform bill. I think he's looking somewhere else, but it's okay. Let's. He's not saying anything. So who is next? I think. I think between all our politics. I think it's all our politics. I think all our politics was here before Jonaba. So all our politics, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This original discussion was about tax reform, and then it went into how much should the states have versus how much should the federal government have, the percentages. And it has spilled over into, because often it goes down to the government. The states are not running the country very well. The federal government is not doing very well. So what do you make of it?
I mean, the question is everywhere. The I don't the tax bill. What about the tax bill? For me, the tax bill was passed on October 3rd. That's when the president actually submitted it to the Congress. As from that day, I just say, well, there's nothing much to say about the tax bill. It's going to pass. Everything on from that day to now is just politics at the highest level, right? Mr. Amori will define politics as who gets what and how. So that's exactly what you see playing out. But there's something that caught my attention. I think two Nigerians often bring it up. That the North will suffer more. The North will suffer more. I mean, is the highest distraction I've ever seen. Second to turn by turn. Remember turn by turn? The southern governor come out with their full chairs. So are we not expecting them to come out to actually say no to the tax, knowing that they will still play that card again in the next couple of months or weeks or years? But most importantly, the North go suffer, also playing to the hands of people that believe that they are not educated as us, we are more progressive and all that. But one thing I want us to understand, all these things fall short of Obi philosophy. The Obi followers, Obi will tell you that now the same price the northern person they buy bread, now the southern person they buy bread. So how come the tax will affect the northern person more than the southern person? Again, it's coming out of where we are in life, right? Now we be the elite, we can understand how games work. But when they are saying they are 100 million, 135,000 dimensional poverty, right? It's spread across the country. So we buy into the narrative of the elite, not knowing that now bargain that they bargain within themselves. What can they get? Now, if you follow the story very well, this agreement was reached when all of them visited Tinubu in his house on the 26th of December, and led by the Senate president himself. And when that thing was happening, people were not paying attention. I said, this is not normal. And it plays into what I've been saying that in Nigeria, we need dual sovereignty. Every state should have a reasonable control of its affairs. Because how come the whole 36 state governor gather at the same time, enter the same motor, drive, go president, private resident, and it's in a way just kind of normal. That's when the deal was struck. So it's a bargaining process because the one thing they understand, this policy now, IMF policy. So whether Bola Tinubu like it or not, whether they like it or not, it must pass. Now, because the Northern understand that this presidency is inch on this bill passing, they have to take advantage of it. What can we make? Because he has to go. What can we get locally before we allow it? Our own elite from the south, they've already sold it to the narrative of turn by turn. So they cannot come out now and say, we don't want them. So at the end of the day, now we, the poor people around the south, now they sell, now they push under the bus for their own personal gain. So make we pay attention to how these people they actually operate. So there's no way the bill fall flat, right? They just want to get how they want to get, because if you pay attention to what is happening, because another narrative again, Nigeria always talk Nigeria to Nigeria, ownership, ownership, ownership. It boils down to freedom. Are we really the owner of our resources? I mean, if we are the owner, then what is wrong? So somebody was alluding to the agreements that were reached in the 80s that is still at play. Right? All our refineries was built between 1965 to 89. What happened during that time? And after 89 to now, what is playing out? So the constitution went from being regional to what presidential in 89. So in other words, between that time we have civil war, coup and everything. That was all the process to get to us where we are today. All the question is that are we really free? We are not free people. That means somebody is determining how we should do. That's why if they give us law, they go tell you say you must put it there, you must not put it there. Now, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you always been blaming the West," but it's not about blaming the West. It's just for you to know where the problem is. Then you now say, "Okay, who are those people colliding?" It's not a coincidence that all our leaders, all of them are looking to the West. Nobody has a national madness. Say this is stupid. We are not going to go this route. And why? if that is the case. So the idea of tax, the why the governors were hungry in the first place is because the money that will be coming, because Tunanja and Dr. Damage were going back. Dr. Damage was trying to control Tunanja. Tunanja said our the tax is not enough, right? They are not going to get much. No, it's not that they're not going to get much. They understand that this tax not to pay the debt. So as much as they are going to, they are burning the tax base. So the money they are going to collect now is not necessarily going to reflect on them or on the society because it has to pay. So that's why you have to pay attention to when Jamie Diamond come Nigeria 7, all our Nigerians tell us it doesn't matter how this tax we feel, we are still going to expound. In other words, the empire is in need of money. So whether you like it or not, the colony have to live up to. So that's what is happening. So the money we come for is going to pay the debts that we are owing, and they say they give us anyway. So again, if you pay attention again to this BRICS admission we they give us, if you read so many texts about it, you will see the problem that where we are, that it might not even benefit us in any way. So the question we should be asking, are we free? Because now only free people go free do anything where you want. If you are not free, that means anything you do now somebody dictate time for you. It's the fact that we don't see, they say the north is not where they full of resources, right? But what other thing you should know that they're being mined as we speak. They mine, these foreign countries they mine now, but with the brag say we get resources. So it's a lot that we need to. That's why this on the 2 days ago that they celebrate people they do anniversary of civil war and all that kind of everybody copy you, everybody talk your own story. But the questions people are not asking is that those men wait for civil war are still alive. So why you gonna know the truth? What is Obasanjo? What is Danjuma? What everybody has a role that play. Like they are still very in power. So everything with the end and a lie. Because just happenings that led to that, and they know. So there's so many questions. I think we ought to go back to the ask question. We not get our freedom by saying we fight for that. The negotiator. What are the negotiating terms? Because the fact that we're acting like this, it's not normal. So
Thank
either
you.
the head has known something that we don't know, or I mean everybody's is stupid in this case. So the tax bill, those guys, they don't pass them already. So everybody gets what he can get because of the situation that our government is on at this
Thank you.
point.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of what you have said. Apart from the reason why I say it's going to disadvantage the south is because the north is because they are generally poorer states, and if you are poorer, even if it's a little bit of tax, it affects you more. Um, I think there's
Even though now one person poor for south, we should be concerned about it. It should
no,
not be
no,
something of
I agree with
comparison.
that. It's just
It's
that
not something of comparison.
there's the reason why they can play politics with it. It's not like it's coming from nowhere. That's what I'm saying. Um, uh,
Is it my turn?
I think it's AY. Look at that. Look at that. He just came in. He said he wants his thought. This is why Nigeria is struggling. AY, please thank you for joining. Was it AY or GD? I'm not very sure about that.
Na me go talk. Na me.
Okija.
I
Okay,
think it's supposed to be
Okija has
Okija.
claimed his turn. Okija has claimed his turn. Okay, Okija, please
Like
go
it's
ahead.
Okija time to be honest.
So what what is the issue? Because you guys are going from place to place, so I don't even know
Yes,
what.
I think at the core of it, let's get back to the tax reform bill. What do you think is going to make for Nigerians? Is it going to improve things?
Yeah, I wish like before this show, like someone got those bills. I think they said there were about 4 bills, 4 different bills or so. And I wish we studied them before we embarked on this discussion. But the area when this guy came the other day, I asked him a question on the one that concerned me most was the issue of if you make call because MTN headquarters is in Lagos. If you make call in Abuja, MTN Lagos gets the VAT. The other one concerned me more. But I didn't know they were doing that. It was outrageous. The day I heard it, my head was exploding. How could that be? You make a call everywhere. It's going to Lagos. But I think like because I took time to listen to that. The Femi Oyedeji or whatever. Femi Oyedeji. I took time to listen to some of his interviews. And I think he was articulate explaining the things. And also for the fact that Lagos state government and River State government, they are in court. They won the case. I think it's an appeal now. They won the case because they said they wanted to be collecting the revenue also as well, and the court ruled against them, so they went for appeal. Or I think was the rule in favor of them, or the federal government went to appeal. I can't remember, but I mean, like, that one is more important to me, and then I was happy that the federal government, that the sharing formula, they came down, they gave up, I think 10% or so, or 10% or 20%, they gave up to 10%, 20%, so that the state will get more money.
Yeah,
But I think, the concern,
that is a bad idea. But I think the reason why Tinubu is doing it, because he knows when they start, I think Dr. Damage corrected me that it's actually designed to take more tax. They know that when they take more tax, the federal government eventually will get more money. That's how America operates.
No, but I mean, it's not that the federal government has been getting a lot. They get money from from airports. They get money from the seaports. They get money from they get money from so many areas. So why would they be trying to get more from things being consumed within Nigeria? Just like state taxes in the US. I mean, some people are making, comparing the two places. They can't. But state tax in Nigeria is just like VAT is just like state, consumption tax. You are like state tax when you buy anything you consume. If you go to a restaurant, if you buy some things, apart from in my state, states tax, they tax differently. They have a different rate. I think my state is like 7%. Massachusetts is like the next state is like about 6 point something. So it's like just like consumption tax. So it belongs to the state. It doesn't belong to the federal government. The federal government, they get their own money from when people pay income tax. In US, there's federal income tax. Wherever you are, you have to pay federal income tax. It's the same for everybody. Whether you live in Miami, whether you live in Florida. Sorry.
I say in the US, there's all kinds of tax, royalties.
No, the federal government tax is the same everywhere. Then the state has, taxes, like income tax. There are some states that don't have state income tax. So then you go to cities. Cities, they have different types of taxes. They have a real estate tax. They have some cities, like I think New York, they have consumption tax also as well. You pay the state income. State consumption tax. You pay the state city consumption tax. So that's why they make their money. And also, I want to correct somebody said that the oil companies, they pay loyalty to the U.S. government. No, if you own your land, you make your money. You just pay your federal and whatever taxes. You pay loyalty. Oil companies, when they use the federal land, they pay loyalty to the federal government.
Royalties, you mean?
Yeah, you pay loyalty only when the land is not yours. If you are drilling on your land, you don't pay loyalty to anybody. You just pay business tax. Your normal taxes like everybody else that's doing business. Except if you leave the land.
Let's play it out. Let's play it out so you understand why the federal government makes a lot of money out of it. One, that business has to employ a lot of people. Oil companies, they have to employ a lot of people, and all the drivers, distributor, everything, they take tax from all of them too. So you can see why the federal government, eventually earns more money than even all the people than we would like to believe. But in Nigeria, most institutions don't pay tax, so the federal government is not making that money.
Yeah, but I mean, they were just like the argument here, and the figure, the number KJ gave you. What have you done with, the one, you've been getting? It's, like if you are doing something, then you go to the people, say that, we're not making enough money. Then the people will think, but again, also, just like P2B and some other people have said, why do you keep taxing people when there is no production going on in the country?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay? How many people are in poverty? I mean, the minimum wage is not enough to buy rice. Then why do you tax those people? In US right now, if you're making less than, I think about 13,000 or 15,000, I think it's gone up already. Like in the first year I came to this country, I made about, I think 19,000 or 13,000. I went to file taxes. They said, no, go. You don't have to file taxes.
I think it's like that in Nigeria, from what I gather, with this bill anyway.
Yeah, but then the bulk of Nigerians, they are below. They're the bulk of the population. They are making. A lot of people can't buy rice. If the money they make every month, they can't buy rice. If after taking care of some people, basically the money can't buy rice. Some people, when they spend on other things, they can't even buy half bag of rice. So I mean, like, how do you keep taxing people? I mean, maybe I don't know if they say we are making this law. Maybe if you make this amount of money for now, you pay taxes. Then as the economy improves, they'll be like, okay, they will still going down to catch more people to pay. But the way it is designed right now, I'm not sure how it is. But what I've heard people say that everybody will be paying taxes, except if you make a certain small amount of money.
Some people argue that, I don't know whether this is true. There was this argument that was presented online that Lagos is not going to make that they are not going to profit more from this tax reform. That many other states, like even River State, is not going to get a lot of money from it, but a lot of southern states will. And even some northern states will make more money out of this tax reform.
Yeah, especially the consumption one, the one that they're taking away, like for MTN, Dangote, all those companies that they're headquartered in Lagos. If you don't, the money will not be coming to Lagos again. To be going to the state where the thing is consumed. So if Dangote ships his noodle to Kano, and they consume a buyer, the consumer buys it in Kano. Kano gets that money. Before it was Lagos. If they ship from Dangote, they ship like maybe 10,000 naira worth of noodle. Or it's calculated. Oh, Dangote has sold at 10,000, and the tax is going to Lagos, even though it's going to Kano. But now it has changed.
Okay,
so,
but let me ask you something though. If you wanted to claim VAT return, who do you collect the money from? Is it the federal government or the state government you collect your VAT return from?
Like MTN, the way MTN does it, okay. I'm not sure that or like Dangote, the people who sell physical product. But for MTN, for instance, if you buy a recharge card, it's built into that already.
Yeah,
it's built into that. Yeah. So that's so they remit it to the federal government.
And because of that, because let's say a company is headquartered in Lagos now, even if they are doing a lot of business in other states, technically, based on the way taxing works, they could claim a lot of money because they will say that's cost of doing business. Even if they did the business in Kano or anywhere else, the whole money comes back to the headquarter in the main company itself. So you can see how Lagos can gain from that. And
but the cost of doing business is quite different, because I don't know how. I'm not really sure how taxes are calculated in Nigeria, but in US, if you own a business, like KJ said, but KJ said something wrong. That at the end of the year, your gas money, they give it back to you. No, they don't give it back to you. What you do, you itemize it. This is the cost of doing business. I spent I spent $10,000, buying gas. I bought a car, all those things. So then there's percentage here, like for mileage, there's some percentage, for gas, there's some percentage, you apply to your business. So you deduct those one from your, you add to your expenses. Now at the end of the day,
so does the money go to the headquarters? Like the place where the business is headquartered, that's where they deduct it from, Abi?
No, but first of all, this thing, you pay taxes on the profit, not because you sold something 10,000 naira. Even if it costs you 11,000 to sell 10,000 naira, you pay taxes on 10,000. No, you have to, like, if you sold it for 10,000. I mean, if you sold it for 10,000 naira and your cost, everything is 9,000 naira, you just have to pay taxes on 1,000.
And but that's still kind of, it still doesn't help.
Justin, hold on, don't keep asking questions. See, even if you pay, like you reveal something there now, you pay tax on profit. What if they claim that because of expenses they don't have profit? So the money they spend, and remember, when they spend that money, they can now claim that money back too. Through VAT, they will claim VAT back. So, in your own description of VAT payment in America, you can use that to offset other taxes that you need to pay. So either way, the company in Lagos will still benefit from it. So let's make our peace with the fact that areas that have better tax regimes and better headquartered organization will make more money when you
but no, we're not talking about companies. We're talking about money government is earning. We're not concerned about company. Whatever they're making, that's their business. What we are talking about is money coming to federal government and state government. That's what we're concerned.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to take money from those northern states or other states because the money is going to be taken from them and it's going to end up back in the hands of the southern state because that's where most of all these SMEs and big businesses reside. That is
no, it's not.
VAT is not coming from nowhere. If you
the money, the VAT is the company doesn't get the VAT. Like hold on. If I buy something, if something is being sold
one way
for
or the other, they get it one way or the other. Whether they
don't
the
company they don't make any money from VAT. If something if something is being sold for 10 naira and the VAT is 10%, that means that's 1 naira. So if you buy that thing, you pay 1 naira. You pay. I think they calculate you pay 11 naira. If it's 10 naira, you pay 11 naira. So the 10 naira, the company gets the 10 naira. The 1 naira goes to the government.
Yeah, and that 1 naira, the company can claim it back if it's expensive.
No. It's not part of the
in the UK, you can.
Let me explain. Tunanja, let me. If for America, if you get business, right, the federal government collects corporate tax on you, while you pay property tax to the state. You understand?
And you pay your state tax as well.
Yeah, the one that he's talking about is called sales tax. The one or PJ is talking about is sales tax. That's where the VAT is all about.
Yeah, the sales tax is VAT.
You understand? Like if you are buying a course online in the UK, you pay VAT.
Federal government they collect VAT.
Yeah, the federal government they collect. So that's what I'm explaining. I'm telling for that the company they don't make any money from VAT because it goes to the federal government. That's all. The company will also pay taxes, pay their own corporate taxes. That's different.
No, I think you are misunderstanding me. Like the VAT itself that goes to the federal government, because when they charge for their services, they put VAT on it. It goes to the federal government. However, that same company also buys services from other people. So now they can now say, okay, all these services I bought, I had to pay VAT on it. I want to get all those VAT back. And I had to spend so much money.
No, you don't get your VAT back. You didn't pay for the VAT. The consumer paid for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. The company itself is a consumer.
No, but it's only when you buy something else. Only when you buy something else, not on that product. Okay, for that. Let me explain to you. Okay, if
Okija, this is what Tunanja is missing. Tunanja talking about the corporate will get income tax. Individual also get corporate income tax back in America.
Yeah, individual companies
also get back.
Not VAT. Companies see the
companies are it's not payroll. It's called payroll tax. They know they collect VAT. It's called payroll tax.
Exactly, but you pay VAT when you're buying goods, but you don't get it back. But companies get it back. You see, that's the thing you need to understand.
Oh, you want Nigeria? That's what you are saying, that Nigeria should be paying individual tax return. That's what you are saying.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying we should make our peace with the fact that places like Lagos, those areas that are more tax based and big companies belong in those areas are going to make more money. You like it or not? They are going to make more money from them. One way or the other, they will make.
Can I explain something?
I was going to say, AY is going to riot here. AY, sorry, Okija, let AY go before AY starts another drama. He's in the mood today. Please go ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think about the VAT this year? Now, do you think it's going to go well? That's not the VAT. I mean the tax reform bill.
Well, I think it has been approved, right? To the best of my knowledge, the governors
sure. It was just governors that approved it.
No, they are the power brokers in the country. You don't know. Each time they tell you don't want to believe it.
So now your governors are powerful, eh?
They are the power brokers in the country. How come you don't know that? To be honest, I've heard you say a lot of stuff today. I was just like, some of the stuff you were defending from the argument that we have data. I was actually shocked.
They talk of social security. He was talking about road.
You want to start again, though.
You don't know something. There's nothing wrong to be quiet. You learn from other people instead of muddling things up. It's very annoying. People are listening to you. You say you are here to learn. You are treating people with garbage.
I'm here to learn. Okay, fine. I will address the point you're making.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
You're talking about social security. You're talking about road. How has that got to do with social security? It's very annoying.
I'm sorry. Don't worry. You will calm down when we have a proper conversation. And I don't know whether we'll have enough time. But go ahead, AY.
Yeah. what I'm gonna say, right? So the truth is, I remember when this government came in. I think any president, any new government that want to change this in Nigeria, they have to be deliberate. We have to start from somewhere. One point I've canvassed we start from was having that data. We don't have data. I'm surprised you were saying it. Even our university that are center of
do we have
learning.
BVN?
Hold on. I need to explain it to you. Even our university that are centers of learning, they don't have data. If you go to Nigerian university, ask them how many study you have. That number, you will struggle to find that number. If you go to Nigerian university, if you graduate even like 10 years ago, you are going to struggle for them to look for your transcript. People that graduated from Nigerian university in 1980, if you go there, you want to collect transcript, they will be looking for the file. Like, are you crazy? Like, for real? We have problem. We need to actually accept it. We have problem.
But I think
hold on. The issue of BVN, yes, is a data. One thing is to have data. The other one is to have clean data, dedicated data. We don't have it. We don't have clean data. Our data are not dedicated. This is a country where you have BVN, NIN. What's the other one? Please remind me. We have voters card, whatever. It's a form of data. We have another one, I'm forgetting. That shows we are confused. We don't know what we're doing. In first place, we're actually confused. If you really want data, we don't have data. There is see. What is the mortality rate? Who can tell me the mortality rate or birth rate of any state in Nigeria? Nobody.
The data is there.
Data. How will you get the data? That is what I'm telling you. How will you get it? How many people? Okay, hold on. If you go to your village, how many people died in your village in 2024? Do you have the number? Nobody can give you the number. You have to argue we have data. How are you going to hold on? How the government, how are they going to have the data? Who report death in Nigeria? Who report death? Even people go to hospital to give birth. Do you know how many people that still give birth at home? Even in hospital, they don't have that number. We have problem. You don't have those numbers. I don't know. There is nothing to even. We need to be deliberate. We need to realize this is a problem. That is the beginning of our problem because Nigeria cannot even project. Even the so-called Nigeria is 230 million, 200 million. These are garbage. We don't have data. They are all estimated data. We don't have it. I can tell you that for free.
Okay,
the census is garbage. It's
Can I ask
rubbish.
you straight questions? Can you, by default, just by your own lived experience, guess how many children each individual man has in Nigeria on average?
Did you just say guess?
Yeah, guess based on his experience. Then I will ask everybody.
Are you how?
Calm down now. Hey, what are you? Calm down.
Hold on.
Calm down. We are going to get to the truth. Nobody's hiding anything here.
Okay, let me explain to you. I cannot guess. Here is the reason why I cannot guess. I know people in Nigeria that have 40 children. I know people that have 2 children. I know people that have 10 children. I know men that have 20 children. How are you gonna guess though?
Okay, what is the minimum you would
say
is the minimum
there are
average?
Men that have 70 children in Nigeria. You don't know that?
Give us your minimum average. Minimum.
So the only that is so hard.
If somebody tells you that a Nigerian parent on average has 1 child, would you believe that?
No, that's not true.
If they tell you 2, would you believe that?
And therefore, how many parents do you have in Nigeria? How many parents do you have in Nigeria?
So you see now you are beginning to get to the minimum. 3, would you believe it?
Are you talking of the minimum?
Yes, the minimum on average.
If you are talking of the minimum on average, I could say maybe 5.
Okay, now you take that. That's for the adult.
So
if you take that alone, you tie it to BVN, active BVNs that are actually unique one because BVN is unique. It's not you can't duplicate it.
Give
now
me
you are beginning to see you are getting close to the real number now.
We cannot get. Let me hold on. The biggest number. Hold on. For example, let me give you a case study. Bank account. How many bank accounts do we have in Nigeria? Do you know? The estimated?
I think it's in excess of 100 million.
100 million, right? 100
Yeah.
million. Probably that's the biggest number we have, right? As a data. What's the population of Nigeria that have bank account? Do you know?
Okay, 150
we'll say 50
150
million.
million bank accounts. No, it says 150 million bank accounts.
Mind you, some people have 3-4 bank accounts, even up to 5.
On average, how many would you say?
I would say 2.
Okay, now split that into 75 million. Then 75 million grown men have grown adults. Then you split it to 35 because man and woman, they will have to marry to have children. Hold on, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Split it to 35, this in 30 million even. That 30 million has 4 children. What do you get?
See,
you see what I mean? You can extrapolate these things.
So your guesswork to be constituted for accurate data.
Look at that. Don't worry now. You thought it's going to come.
We have to identify the problem before we can look for the solution. You are not identifying the problem. That one is a problem on its own. Nigeria, we don't have that. Come on, somebody was asking you how many people fly from Murtala Mohammed Airport. You said you don't know. Nigeria, we are very bad with data. I don't know why.
No, that aspect of data, I will admit that. But when you talk about population, that was quite specific. I will say you can.
It's
guess,
not.
You can
See. Let me explain to you. Even in population, you look at it, right? In the north, they tend to give birth more, right? Either have multiple wives. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the southeast, they are more like, most of them have like, you say majority of the population have like a single wife, right? So you got to look in the southwest too. I mean, you have men having more multiple wives as well. You could say 50% have multiple wives. You got to calculate a lot of things. So you got to put a lot of things into consideration, to be honest. That's not how to get number. If you call a local government in United Kingdom, they will give you the number. See, there was a time we just tried to get the number of secondary school in a state. It was like this. In a state,
calm down. Okay, let me ask you now, how many million adults do you think we have in Nigeria in total? How many? That's by your own minimum. I will ask everybody the same question. Yeah, okay, Omori, how many million adults you think we have?
Are you asking me? Okay, see, Tunaja, I don't mean to go personal at this time. I think we are here for serious business.
Yes.
We want a assumption, guesswork, to be substituted for a national data, statistical data that's supposed to be accurate for the purpose of planning.
Yeah.
Are we playing here? Are we playing here? Oh, we are serious. Are we just talking to take care of our loneliness?
Without it having
assumption cannot be substituted for that.
It's not assumption.
Go to your you have a phone there, right? Go to the meaning of data so that you know what you're talking about. You asking why some frivolous questions, imagination, guesswork.
To show you how accurate AY was. To show you how accurate AY was.
Data integrity.
Let me show him how accurate AY was. And you might think that it's just ordinary guessing, but look at the birth rate of Nigeria. This is not fictional. This is actually based on data. And at the same time, if you look in BVN, I keep telling you this in Omori, BVN is unique. It's not two. And it's active. And it's often tied to grown-ups because grown-ups use it to get bank accounts. So
how many people have bank accounts?
No, BVN. I'm talking about the ones that have BVN. Bank accounts.
So what does that have to do if for example, you're talking about national population of Nigeria, which people are estimated between 2 million and 250 million. What has people with bank accounts to do with statistical figures as per population of Nigeria? How do you arrive at that?
How you arrive at that is based on the number of BVNs that you have.
And I ask you, how many people have BVN?
I take it that if you go by everybody having two accounts each, you have about 75 million people that have BVN in Nigeria. And
so, and your assumption now, your guesswork now can be used for the purpose of planning. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes. Because if you look at our last population when they counted, some people say that it was false. But then if you look at the accounts that have been opened, the actual human beings, even if you remove all the ones that didn't get BVN, you have to start becoming serious about things. These are real numbers. And remember, banks are not stupid. They want to make money. And they are not just going to be allowing people to be duplicating BVN left and right. So
do you know how many people in Nigeria forefather? Do you know how many people in Nigeria that doesn't even know the meaning of bank? They don't know if you have what bank means.
So are you saying that we are more? Are you saying we are more?
They are not trusting. Whether more or no, we are talking of accurate data. You're talking about assumption and guesswork here. Are we in ancient? You are taking us back to the days of.
I think what you are doing, you don't understand the modern ways people count things. It's not always just based on physical evidence. You can extrapolate population. How do you think they extrapolate the population of enzymes in a dish?
But if you are forefather,
you are the one. I think you are the one making a mistake here. Your huge assumption and guesswork. They are telling you that you don't have data, which means there is no central pool where you can pinpoint and get the figures you want. You are coming up with more series of assumption and guesswork to be used for national planning. Does that make sense to you?
It's not. As a matter of fact, the guy that is in charge of one of the digital guy for the President Tinubu's government said, in time, we are not even going to need census because you are always going to know the number based on the data that is available from different institutions. And I see this logic in it because some of this data, you can't duplicate it. They are unique already. And if you extrapolate it to the number, the students that go to school and all the rest, you can find the information.
Forefather, hold on right there. Do you know the number? Do you know the villages we have? I don't think some people when they speak, I think they don't know Nigeria.
Now? You know, I don't know.
Let's remove villages.
I'm not going to remove villages.
These are people that don't hold on. They don't even have access to basic amenities like banks. They don't have access to electronics. We have villages still today. Do you know the number of people in those areas? Hey, father.
Let me see what somebody is saying about
we
BVN.
need to sit tight. Okay, see. It's BVN 64 million.
See, so let's say half of them are dead. Because some people like to believe that. Let's say half of them are dead. Even those, the one that is remaining, if they have 5 children each, look at what you are going to get. So we keep acting as if these things are not real. So they are actually real.
64 million for a population that is 10 to 30 million, right?
And we actually had.
Do you know the percentage? Do you know in terms of percentage? Do you know what you have?
The voting this registration. Pardon?
That's what I'm saying. If you are to go by Nigeria population reported 230 million, do you know the population you have there? That's like 25%.
Yes.
Do you realize that?
Yes, it's actually high, but it's not against what we are discussing here in terms of extrapolating population. This thing. The UK, we were able to extrapolate accurately the population of the UK based on this sort of data. We did that exercise here some time ago. We were able to say, okay, based on the birth rate of the UK, based on the account number or something like that, we were able to extrapolate the population. We didn't need census to do that.
What is the birth rate of Nigeria, though?
5.14.
What is the death rate?
Dead on accurate.
What is the death rate?
The death rate. We don't know the death rate now. We just know that people die.
The mortality rate.
No, I think if you want to know the death rate, you check the BVN. That's where you know the death rate.
And for the birth rate, what's your source? What's your source? Forefathers International Limited.
Yes. The one me and you open. The one me and you open that day. Look at that. So let's allow Jide come in to the conversation.
Let Jide come in. Okay.
You know, Jide has been very patient and calm. He doesn't like to interject people.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you so much.
Except the camera is off.
Yes. That is so true, man. Oh my God, Jide, you are evil. I'm telling you, Jide, you are just downright evil. Look at how well he's behaved today. Turn the camera off. You see his attitude change completely.
That day I woke up. I was feeling sleepy. I don't know if I woke up.
My
Yeah,
goodness,
I
come back
didn't
to
feel
that
it.
dish. Unbelievable.
But everybody, man. Good to see everyone again.
Yeah,
Thank you
welcome.
for fathers. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to everybody. What I know about the tax bill, I mean, the thing is, I cannot actually infer any interpretation on how policies can be implemented in Nigeria, unless if I have the right figures and the right data. I cannot assume any data or data that has been obtained like 10 years ago because things change, right? But what I know is that from a political point of view, you cannot exploit the people that are currently oppressed, that do not have the basic amenities of life, that do not even have a very high spending power. You know, Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world, for crying out loud. We're talking about the US and how there's heavy taxation in the US and the UK. For crying out loud, the citizens of US and the UK, the residents of US and the UK, they have a much higher spending power than an average Nigerian. So I think that comparison I think it's unfair, and I think it's not the right comparison. You know, that's where I see it. So I feel like from a political perspective, our elites, they are puppets to the imperialists. I said it earlier when Dr. Damages was here that Nigeria is still a colonial state. This idea of taxing the population in itself, despite the fact that they do not even have anything or they have limited resources themselves, is a form of exploitation in itself. There are many ways the Nigerian state can generate revenue without having to exploit the people. And these were the same tactics the colonialists were using when they colonized us. The colonial oppressors. This was what they did in so many parts of Africa. It's still being repeated. When they need money, instead of them to go to the right platform, but because of their colonial, I don't call them colonial masters anymore. I don't know why I keep saying colonial masters, because I'm not actually colonial masters. They are oppressors. They instruct them to do all these things through institutions, IMF and World Bank.
Yeah, Europeans now.
They exploit, these institutions, they actually implement economic policies in our country. And part of that policy is to exploit from the people, not to provide for the people. That is what the structural adjustment program that have been implemented from the 1980s has been doing. So that's the political angle I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the data, how it's going to work, because it's not going to work anyways. From a political perspective, it's not going to improve the quality of lives of the Nigerian people. We've generated a lot of money in Nigeria, for crying out loud, from oil. What have the money been doing for the Nigerian people? The money is embezzled and taken to the countries of the colonialists. That means the colonialists themselves, they are complicit in this. We keep talking about our elites, how they are corrupt and how they are bad, this and that. But even the so-called colonialists, they are involved with this. The banks, go to Swiss banks, all these, the tax havens, all these banks, you see all our money. So why would all our money be going to all these banks, all these countries, and the next thing you will now do is to exploit your own people that are suffering? It is inhuman. It is evil. It is slavery. That's what they call slavery. That was how they enslaved us. That was how they exploited us during colonialism. That was why we fought against colonialism. That was why we had people that fought against colonialism. We didn't have anything, and they are still extracting tax from us. How much do you want to extract from Nigerian people? How much blood do you want to extract? I don't understand. And, because that's the way I'm seeing it. That was that one. I would like to talk about Trump inauguration. There's this idea that Trump is coming and there's going to be peace in the world. He was the one that brokered the peace between Israel and Hamas. These are all lies. These are all propaganda. these are the biggest lies. These lies.
Why is that a lie when Biden has been around for how many months, and he was like, "There's gonna be." Come on, why is that a lie?
I can explain if you give me the time. I will explain where. And in fact, this idea that Republicans, they are peaceful than the Democrats, these are all lies.
That's really funny. It's not a fact. What? Okay, go ahead and explain. Explain it. That these are all lies.
You were mentioning something earlier that Republicans, like, under the Democrats, the Ukraine war was going on. They were funding Ukraine to fight Russia. They ensured that the peace deal between Ukraine and Russia was not actually possible, and they wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO. That's not true. In fact, it was under the Republicans that the idea of Ukraine being a member of NATO, that was when it started, under George Bush in 2008. That was what led Vladimir Putin to actually make an official speech. That which is seen on YouTube today. He made a speech in the Munich conference. That was the first speech he made criticizing the West and their policies in different parts of the world, because George Bush made it clear that they have to do everything to make Ukraine part of NATO. What made that to not be possible was because at that time, European countries, I don't know what's happening to them now. The way they think now is different. I don't want to go into the reasons why. But at that time, Angela Merkel and different European leaders, I respected them for that. They prevented that from happening. George Bush and John McCain and their gang, they wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO. Georgia too, they wanted them to be part of NATO. This thing has been going on before now. In fact, it was even the Republicans that planted the seed of why Russia went to invade Ukraine. And as it happened under the Democrats. So this idea that one is better than the other is wrong. Both parties, they implement the same foreign policy, but their priorities are different. Economic sanctions is an act of war. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to throw bombs directly before you say you're fighting a war. You can use your proxies to fight a war. That's what the Republicans do. The Republicans do that, the Democrats do that. So this idea that one is more peaceful than the other is wrong.
I thought this argument has been rested, given that the Democrats, they started the First World War. They were sure. Let's put it this way.
That is wrong. The First World War. Calm down. Listen, you are a moderator. Don't give us false information here.
No, correct something now. Let me correct.
It's not true.
Let me correct what I said.
The First World War was started with the killing of the Archduke Ferdinand. That's what started the First World War, not Republicans.
It's not the Democrats. Stop.
Can I correct what I said? Let me just correct what I said. The First World War started when a Democrat was in office. The Second World War started when a Democrat was in office. The Vietnam War started when a Democrat was in office. The Korean War started when a Democrat was in office. The Libyan War started when a Democrat was in office.
They didn't start it.
Hold on now. They are always in office.
The war in Afghanistan was started in 2001.
He's not correcting me. He's okay. If he's correcting me, let me finish my list. Then he give me his own list.
Some people will run away with your question. You misleading a lot of people.
I said I finished talking. He talks. I give my own list. He gives his own list. Then let's see which one is longer and which one is more bloody. Okay, first, Democrats: First World War, Second World War, Vietnam War, Korean War, Libyan War, Gazan War, Rwandan genocide happened under their watch. Which other one? Bosnian one. So I just named 8. Name me Republicans. And these eight are big ones, like World War I. And who used the nuclear weapon? A Democratic leader, twice. A Democratic leader is the only leader that has used a nuclear weapon twice in the world today. It's only a Democrat that has done that. So name me
forefathers.
What other party
Forefathers, you have been okay. Forefathers,
give me your list. Let's hear your list.
Please, give me.
Forefathers, why has this generated?
Please give me 1 minute.
Because he had so many wars.
Because they brought it up. These of them to forget about.
Give me 1 minute. Let me address this thing. Jide, please give me 1 minute. Let me address this thing. You see, there's a difference between saying that a Democrat was the president when such things happen, and saying that a Democrat caused it, because the first thing you said was that they caused the war. The First World War was not caused by a Democrat president. It was this is history. It is there. It was caused by the killing of the Archduke Ferdinand, and he was not a Democrat. It wasn't America that killed him. In 2000. In 2001, hold on. In 2001, October 7th, the war against Afghanistan started. It was started by W.J. Bush. He's a Republican. The war against Iran was started by a Republican. You know, so so when we put out these facts, please let's not, because this is history and people will be laughing at us, that the Democrat was the president has nothing to do with who caused the war. The facts are very clear. This is history. So let us not deceive people. It may well just be by coincidence that the Democrat was there, but the people who caused the war, we must put the blame where it is. You know, so this thing that you are saying, and you kept on saying it all the time, all the while, and it's misleading, because these are not facts. These are not historical facts. These are fallacies. These are historical fallacies.
Big wars happened under democracy. You've not disputed that information. Clearly.
And then what if it happened under democracy? They cause it. So for us, I don't know how, you know, the way you talk. What has it got to do with Democrat, with the one that started in Europe?
Can we calm down now? Why are we defending Democrats like this?
It's not about, you know, it's about
you are on air
talking about, you know, something. You know, there are some people with low intelligence. They don't understand what you're talking about.
They are implementing the same foreign policy.
Do you want to hear the truth, or you just want to hear what you want to hear?
I don't think you have any truth. I don't think you have any truth. I'm not sure.
Comrade,
your opinion should be separated from facts. Your opinion, your personal opinion should be separated from facts. You don't impose your opinion on other people as a fact.
Calm down. Okay, now let's get facts here. The Ukraine war, did it need to happen? Did that need to start? No, Democrats managed it in such a way it had to happen, and they kept escalating it.
They are wrong. They are still wrong.
So if they say that Ukraine should remain neutral, that Russia said if Ukraine wants to join the European Union, that's fine. That's a political union.
But not NATO. Democrats. It's not
so you should allow Russia to announce Ukraine.
See, you are making it look like, hold on. Okay, let me clarify something you said, Jide. What you are saying about George Bush's policy towards Ukraine and Russia, that started even in the time of Clinton. I have evidence of it, of this in a general of the guy that was in charge of NATO. I think he was in charge of NATO during that time. He literally was saying it. He said these people, when Clinton went there, the states, those East European states, were pressuring Clinton to accept them into the European Union and into NATO. So all this, the stuff you are saying that it started in 2008, it didn't start. It was under Democratic leadership.
That's what I'm telling you. It's not about Democrats and Republicans. It happens to be under Bill Clinton.
But hold on. But one side tends to initiate the triggering event, like the triggering event that caused this crisis in Ukraine happened under Obama.
You cannot
we always pretend as if we can't see.
Okay, if that's the point, you can also make a case that the initiation of the Iraq War was not about the Republicans.
Yes, that is true. That is true. What you are saying is true about the Iraq War. Two of them even. But if you look at if you look at the ledger, calm down. If you look at the ledger, it's not even close. The casualty rates that has been caused by the kind of wars the Democrats start, is astoundingly tilted against the Democrats. It's too much. You can't see that and say this is an accident.
You can't say that. You can't say that. I mean, you know,
there's one war, 2 nuclear weapons by one party, Jesus Christ. And then look at all the wars that are triggered by this same group. Kennedy was in office when the Vietnam War started. Korean War.
No, that's not true. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Oh my God. Kennedy was in office. Why you?
John F. Kennedy? No.
You want me to check again? Let's not keep disputing these facts. It's a fact. I'm not telling you a lie here. You have to know the truth of this. I used to think the way you think.
It was delayed.
I used to think. You think I started this? You know
when this came to me? Can I say something? I have a meeting. I have a meeting somewhere.
Yeah, sorry, you haven't even said anything. Go ahead.
Yeah, forefathers. This is not personal. Please don't get it twisted.
I'll take it personal.
A lot of people have come on this platform with 1 or 2 allegations against you. I've been on the fence. I've never had it one-on-one with you. But the issues of today, your outbursts of today and your deliberations of today is making me to have a suspicion on who you really are. You know, some people question a lot of things about you. And I've seen this trajectory, this trend on certain platforms. You know, people coming online with different conspiracy theories, trying to impose something on other people. But with the points you've made today, the other time we were here, I think we were just about 2 or 3 in the platform. And we stayed to about 1 or 2 a.m. that very day. We had a deliberation about if you, at this point, you cannot, I mean, you come here, we'll talk, we're able to rest, put that case to rest. You come here today. That was the point I was trying to make earlier when I got kicked out by my network or something. You were trying to make difference between cost of governance and federal civil service. If at this point we don't know the difference between cost of governance, which Nigerians complain about every time, you miss it that one with you come here with an argument that Nigerians complain that federal government employ too many people. I mean, I will begin to I'll begin to be cautious of the whatever emanates from you. And again, somebody was talking about lack of social security. You jump at the person and say we actually have one. They say, well, you went ahead to make an example of a road. I don't know the connection between road construction and social security. Another thing you're talking about, people talk about cost of governance, overblown government cabinet, the size of governance and all that. People are talking about the likes of Tinubu that are saying they will reduce the cost of governance, they will reduce the number of ministers. At the end of the day, they ended up increasing it. The likes of Tinubu that are telling people, telling Nigerians to tighten their belts, make sacrifice, and they are busy buying more private jets for themselves, buying more bulletproof cars for themselves, and building more mansions for their vice. So you'll be able to differentiate. You cannot make decisions. If you cannot make dichotomy between these minor things, whenever you are here as a moderator, I think I will be very, very careful. And I will want to add you to a list of, I already have a list of about 3 who are always on the platform, trying to skew the minds and skew the truth to suit their own narrative. On this note, I rest my case. Please be careful when you're talking with other people, not just for our sake. People are listening to us. People want to learn. You said you want to learn, but you are here. I'm not sure you are here for that purpose. Sometimes I listen to you, I see you as a very vibrant fellow. I see you as but don't try to manipulate the ideas of other people. Thank you very much. I don't need to go personal. I have another meeting to attend. Thank you. God bless you.
Let me address the point that you made particularly. Just because you don't subscribe to the idea of reducing the size of the state in Nigeria doesn't mean that's not what other people are implying when they say it, because they've said it. They said everything should go back to the states. The federal government is too big, and they don't want that to be.
The size of federal government they're talking about is not the employees, it's not the Nigerian civil service they're talking about. It's not the number of Nigerians and the employment of Nigerian government. That's all right.
Not because you are a socialist, have you bothered to ask them what they are saying?
I don't need to ask them. You are mostly
saying all the time. See, calm down. You see, don't speak for people that you don't represent.
People with the terms you are using, there are 2 different terminologies.
Oh my God, calm down. You are a comrade. You don't see. I get where you're coming from. You don't believe the state.
Even from the way you speak right now, the terminologies you are using, there are 2 different terms. The size of government, cost of governance is different from the number of employees or the size of Nigerian civil service. You mostly 2 things up.
Hold on. Okay. The cost of governance, is that the one you want to address?
Size of governance, cost of governance, or whatever you want to you want to use. It's different from the number of Nigerians in the employment of Nigerian government.
You are saying I'm the one shifting. You are the one shifting left and right. I want to address one. Which one do you want to go for? Cost of governance or this in the size of the state?
Father, there are 2 different things. They are not the same thing.
They are 2 different things. But which one which one are you exercised about?
You're missing the 2 half. You're missing. You came here I
want to disentangle them now, and that's why I want you. If you want me,
can you give me 2 minutes? Can you give me 2 minutes to let you know the correction I'm trying to make? The last time we had over 5 hours on this issue, you were like, "Oh, the size of federal government is not even big enough." People complain. Nigerians complain a lot about the size and cost of governance. You were comparing to America. I'm like, Father, you're missing 2 things up. I told you, and I gave you vivid examples like I just gave you now. So there are 2 different things. If you talk of governance, size of governance or cost of governance, they're talking of the number of ministers in the cabinet of Tinubu right now that has just been increased from the previous ones to what we have currently. They're talking about the number of vehicles in the convoy. They're talking about the presidential fleet. They're talking about the size of aides to ministers and what have you. You know, that's what it means the cost of governance.
Okay, if that's what you're saying,
you coming here to say it's not even enough. They should increase it. Now we need more.
Hold on. See, you can't just use loose terms. Cost of governance, if you check it right now, they will tell you what it is. But if you are saying this is what you are referring to, then you are talking about the cost that the government spends on themselves. That's what you are talking about. If that is the case, everybody's in agreement that this government,
what else do you have as a cost of? Can you tell us what else you have as the cost of governance in your own book, your own dictionary?
Okay, let me share it with you. Let me see where I can find it.
Go ahead. Don't misinform anybody.
Don't worry, I will. You know, I try to be very, very straight with people about.
No, I'm beginning to look you like see you as an agent.
Don't worry. This is why I say you get to know me. You find out these are facts of life, isn't it? So, what is included in the cost of governance of a nation? You can see that clearly now that I'm not making it up. So it is what it is, and that is where I'm coming from. And this is also linked to the size of the state. If you cut it, the people
can you read it out? Can you not? Most of us are old.
Can you
read it out?
You see all these people claiming age. Okay, the cost of governance of a nation includes money spent on public services, social security, government investment. Now they even went down further to talk about other things there. Even capital investment, all those things are included. This is why when people use those terms, and that's why when you qualified it yourself, I said we are all in agreement on that. We all know the president shouldn't have such a large cabinet. We all know the president shouldn't be buying private jets when people are suffering and he's making. As a matter of fact, he's torpedoing the economy, not like it's needed. So we all are in agreement with that. But when you use terms, you have to have a level of precision in it. And when I question it, people are just like, "Why are you saying that you are like a mole?" But I didn't make the word up. I'm just referring to when people say this is, and sometimes Omori, you might be an innocent bystander on this. People out there truly want to reduce the state itself. They want to reduce the size of government workers in Nigeria. You know what they said?
No. I disagree with you on this one. People are complaining that there is no employment. How could they be talking about reducing the size of?
On this platform, advocating it. There are people who are advocating on this platform saying.
And again, you said cost of governance as social security. Can you define what level of social security we have in Nigeria? Can you tell me the one you know of? Don't measure roads. Don't measure roads like you did earlier.
We don't have, I don't think we have proper social security, but I think the government has a way of giving people money now and again.
But rice distribution to cost and fees so that people can die.
If you look at, let's say, general hospitals, you can regard that as some kind of social security network. If you look at education, some parts that the government cater for, you can see that as a form of.
That's not social security. You are saying two different things entirely again. You go the meaning of social security and read it out just the way you did previously.
It's like you are doing a gotcha situation here.
No.
I'm just trying to give you what I.
No, you are misinforming our audience. What you just enumerated now has nothing to do with social security. Now, I don't want to impose it on you. Just repeat what you did earlier. Google it and see the meaning of social security. And you, at least today, you will allow this to rest. And I hope you will not bring it up again, just to disturb our audience.
So because I'm wrong in one definition, does that mean you are correct in the other one? I don't understand.
I'm not saying. No, read it out and let us hear you.
So, like in the UK, they have different. They have different definitions of social security in different.
Go ahead with the ones you have with the first two.
Don't worry about this one. We don't need to read.
I don't know why. And what you are doing? One other thing you are doing, Omoro, is trying to impeach my genuineness in terms of actually seeking information. I don't like that. And that is a bit of a lazy thinking. You should make the effort to check the information that I'm revealing before you start maligning me. I'm not
attempting to malign you, but sometimes when you try to come here with a lot of conspiracy theory,
check the information that I'm providing.
Forefather.
They are very misleading.
Sorry, Moriye, Forefather. You see that issue of social security now. That's a good point. For example, the traders' money during President Buhari, I think they still share that kind of money now. That is the biggest fraud in the history of Nigeria. Why is it a fraud? See, if you don't have data, it's actually better to keep that money and use it to develop the country. Because the money is not going to the right people. Because I have said it on this platform. All of us here, when you go to your village, please give me 10 names where the federal government traders money, whatever they call that money, the humanitarian ministry, I call it the Yahoo ministry, where that money is going. You cannot pinpoint somebody in your village. If you take a microphone, go to your village, you will see 10 people that will say, I received that federal government money. So who are they paying the money to? It is a big fraud. Perhaps my mother is not working. Why are they not giving her the money? I'm sure a lot of us, our mothers are not working anymore.
Oh,
Why
no,
are they
no,
not
no.
receiving the money?
I don't think Nigerian government gives social security like that. They give social security like they will target, like now again, when there is problem, they will say, oh, we're just going to give people 500 naira.
No, they
They don't
do.
give,
Traders
they give it
money, that's
constantly.
how they were giving. That's
Yeah,
how
I
they
didn't think they
said
did
they
it
were giving that
constantly.
money. And if you go check the number is so high, it's in billions of naira. So if you don't have proper channel, like in UK it's different, right? Because they have the data. They know how much you earn in 2024. They are able to determine, are you qualified for this money, for this social? So we don't have that system. That is why the importance of clean data in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. We understand a lot of things in terms of planning, in terms of who need help, in terms of you understand a lot of things, but because a lot of the leaders we have, they are not genuine. Because when you are genuine, you will be having debate across this line in such a way that we are able to look for a genuine way to improve the living life situation of the people. But they are not interested in that. They are just interested in bragado.
Were you not
Even
here
some,
when
let me tell you, let me
okay,
finish
go
this.
ahead.
What some of them do, right? If it is a PDP state, they will take some money, they will give to their member, they share it around, even though they are sharing rights. APC state, the same thing. Labour Party state, that is another thing that is going on. So the importance of data cannot be overemphasized. If we have genuine people that want to run this country, there are basic things where we need to start from. There are basic things we need to do, right, for us to improve the system. But they are not interested, to be honest. That my whole conclusion on this, they are not interested in improving the life of the people, period.
Oh no, that one I don't think we are in disagreement with that.
So far as I just confirmed again because I know this thing. It is
What are you
not. It was
confirming?
not
What are you
under
confirming?
GNP.
What are you
It was
confirming?
not
Ovala,
under
you are in
GNP.
trouble.
Is it
It is
leave it
not under
that all these
GNP
people?
that
But
the
you were
decline
hold
was
on, hold on.
started.
I'm going to get back to you. But you were here, AY. I don't know whether you were here. I think Omoro you must have been around too when Paul was saying that the Nigerian government should stop owning anything. By saying those things, you are basically saying cut the state off, let the state not own anything, remove the state from everything. And this is when you tell someone like Omori that this is where many Nigerians come and espouse without knowing that other countries, the state control quite a lot of things. They will say, oh, I'm just trying to make stuff up, because this is a narrative most Nigerians believe. They don't know that part of their way of thinking is what is killing the country. Who is going to make the roads? Who is going to fix all those things if the state is not there?
But let me comment on that. You see, again, this is another debate. See, if you want Nigeria to develop sincerely, the best form of development that can be in terms of the urgency, in terms of redevelopment, it has to go down to local government. The local government will have some level of power, because how many roads can federal government really do? They only tell you federal road, a road that pass through from Lagos to Ibadan. The main road, the road inside the city, leaky villages, these are things local government are supposed to focus on. But when you're talking of the independence of the local government, if we have a system that can hold them accountable, even in terms of security, you have to take that security to local government. Whatever you want to do as a country, if Nigeria can channel all that work to local government, and we have local government that are effective, that we have some form of check and balances in the local government, that would have been the best, to be honest. I'm not saying federal government, there are things they should focus on. For example, they are in charge of generation of electricity, in charge of the military, the police, the custom. Good. I mean, even the police, break it down. Take care of the military, take care of the custom. There are a lot of things federal government can focus on, but there are a lot of things federal government should let go and devolve the power down to the local government. They can't really maintain it, to be honest. You have, for example, you have a federal government for 8 years. There are local government, they will not touch anything. So what's the essence of the federal government? So they can't really do it. This power, the president and the likes, the Senate, they don't want to relinquish power. They need to give out more power to the state, to the local government. Let development go to the grassroots. Let people feel this development. That would have been the best thing. Just like the way you have it in abroad, the city centers, they are local government. Technically, they are local government. So they are even city government in such a way that they look at the budget of the city, what is going on. If you have snow in the city, they're gonna remove it. The dustbin, they collect some form of taxes. They generate revenue too. They use part of this revenue to take care of the city, of the antivirus. So this is just how country developed, to be honest. I think in some part, Mr. Paul was right. Even the effectiveness, the ineffectiveness of our federal government is mind blowing.
How is it correct? How is it correct?
Let me tell you. Let me explain.
I don't know why we wish other countries well, but we don't wish our own country well.
Hold on. You have NNPC. Government are in charge for more than 20 years. NNPC are not bringing revenue. Go and check the debt of NNPC. NNPC is equivalent of Saudi Aramco in Saudi Arabia. Put the number, put the data down, compare both of them. See,
Petrobras, also now, Petrobras.
Yeah.
But that is you are just describing a corrupt. Hold on. You can't just keep saying hold on. You are describing something else. You are not describing the role of the state. You are not making a case for the role of the state in a nation.
Let me finish. Hold on. Now, Dangote was unable to build a refinery. Because of that, they are now rushing. You know what? Let me be honest. I'm not a doomsayer. Let me be honest. NNPC, even with the refinery, what is going on, they are not ready. Those refineries are not going to be managed effectively. What if we have genuine? There is nothing wrong if government have what is called PPP, public-private partnership. You can have partnership like somebody like what is it called? Hairpiece. You can have private partnership with people like Hairpiece. Have Nigeria Hair. Let them be able to help you to manage this thing. You have people monitoring what is going on. I'll give you percentage. Nigeria don't need to hold up. Look at what the former Minister of Aviation did. A minister deceiving the whole of over 200 million people. You went to Ethiopia, paid a plane, and you brought the plane to Nigeria, deceiving Nigeria that Nigeria Hair is working. And the Senate and the Mumu rep, they are looking at him. What kind of foolishness is that?
I think
is madness.
Calm down. Let me explain. I think this is the narrative you've heard over and over again.
I'm telling you.
And at the core of it, let me finish now. At the core of it, it never really solved anything because we don't truly understand the nature of the beast. The reason why Nigeria is improving, I can argue for geopolitical reasons why it's improving. However, if you are going by the fact that, let's say, when you said, the Nigerian air scandal, those are corrupt practices by states, just like the state, Nigerian private sector too can also be corrupt. You are describing a symptom of a problem that is affecting the entire nation. It's not because it's the state is playing a role in it or not, because Saudi Aramco is able to do it. We know that China is able to do it. Russia is able to do it. Why is it that we cannot do it? It tells you that something else is responsible for it. That is not a case to argue for less government, because it's like saying that
I'm not talking about led government. That's
hold
not
on.
our
Let me finish my. But it's like saying just because a patient is ill, he doesn't have enough nutrients in his body to recover. Your own option now is, let's start lopping off limbs and handing it over to other people. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. You need to cure the problem.
So
And
what's the problem? How do you cure the problem?
The problem is that in Nigeria, like some of the issues come from geopolitical reasons. Other issues come from our own policies inside the country, our own mentality to inside the country. Like,
so how do you solve the problem? Tell us how you solve it. Like the case of
I've already told
tell us how you solve it.
If you want solution, anytime you look at me, you want solution, just look behind. You see this white thing below my name? That's your solution there. It's right there. It's under my name. If you want solution, fix those things, your nation will be strong.
Forefather, when I'm saying public-private partnership, that's a solution right there. Federal government don't need to hold everything 100%.
I don't have any problem with that statement. But however, I just want you to admit that doesn't mean the state will be any less. You see,
yes,
I don't have any problem with that.
Let me tell you something here. I'm not just talking for talking's sake. See, I understand the issues we have, even in our ministry. I understand the problem. People are paid, they're doing nothing in the ministry. You got to look for a way to dismantle all this setup. If you are deliberate, you will be able to look for solution. But we are not deliberate. People are not interested in solving the problem.
But use the term again, dismantle. What we use, you see, the terms we use, we want to kill the state. That is our term, the terms we use. Dismantle, fix the problem. I just gave you a clear example of this.
Okay. Many years ago, right? Dangote was ready to deal in terms of our refinery before he started building refinery. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
But what happened? But how many years now? Dangote built this refinery for like 7 or 8 years, I think. But he has a brand new refinery now. Do you know if you ask the federal government to build a refinery, you think you will have a refinery today in Nigeria? You will not. Sometimes we don't need to look at Saudi that have functioning refineries to do our thing. But since you have to domesticate our problem and domesticate the solution, since you know the problem we have is corruption, the problem, the people look at our government schools, for example. Nigeria government secondary school. Do you see anyone that is, go and check them out. But we have private schools that have standard at the highest level in the world. So, because the government are not responsible. So, there is nothing wrong. It's still your people. Go into public-private partnership, build university, build airport, build whatever, and do your thing. Let the country be running.
My worry is that we make the mistake of thinking public-private partnership is the panacea for a solution. It's not necessarily, but because especially the CNG one worked in Nigeria, it's a good argument that, okay, maybe in the Nigerian context, given the time, it makes sense for the government to do that. Because after all, it's still Nigerians. The private company, they are all Nigerian. So I don't have any real hang up about that. But the ideological fixation people have with this thing, that's what I have a problem with. They make it look like cutting the state down is going to somehow fix the country.
That's not what me I'm saying. That's not what me I say. I have actually argued.
Then avoid the term dismantle.
Hold on.
When you use the term dismantle, that's what it implies.
When President Tinubu, when he elected minister, you remember part of the argument I had with some people was the ministerial position were too much. To be honest, I don't think that's our problem. If you make me a president and I've defined our problem, I have a problem I want to work on. If I need 100 ministers to get that job done, I will elect 100 ministers. All I need is results. Give me the result.
God, you're not like
as
Tinubu,
long
right?
as no. I don't see. I'm real about solving problem. If I need 100 ministers, if Nigeria, I don't care if Nigeria have 50 ministers. As long as I'm going to have results, as long as I'm going to get that job done, the most important thing is to get the job done.
That time you exactly that time.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
I'm a physicist. done is foster distance. What that means, if I try to move a building and I spend 24 hours pushing it and there is no distance move, work done is zero. All that time is wasted. The most important is to get that building moved. If you need 1 million people to move that building, as long as that building is moved, there is work done. In order to solve a problem,
what did you define as work again?
Well,
what did you define as work again?
Distance, foster distance.
Not displacement. Okay, good. That's is a
So,
good term.
so this is we got to learn how to really solve problem. In order to solve problem, you got to really define that problem. Look at it. It's just like if you ever get into project management, if you want to crash a project, if you want to fast track a project, you got to bring in more resources. There is no two ways. In order to solve it, you got to bring more resources. So the argument of we need 2 ministers, it doesn't hold water. That is not our problem, because if you look at the money you will pay this minister, if they are not corrupt for 8 years, it's really nothing compared to the amount people are stealing every day in Nigeria. So it's not our problem. Our problem is we are not getting results from solving this problem. We need to have actual results to show people that I have worked for 2 years. This is the result.
I would dare to say that our core problem is worse than just people stealing money. It's pure, almost direct, almost deliberate mismanagement of the state itself. That is where the cost is. All the money we are losing, that's where it's coming from. They just sabotage the economy, not to work. It's endless. But I can't believe Justin, man. Justin, I think you have been promoted to one of the elders. You've ascended. You've ascended. You didn't even say anything. I'm sure the moment you start now.
I don't like this thing that you're doing, man. It's today that I know that you don't like me.
No, it's just the conversation got too engaging and we couldn't get out of it.
Is it because I'm smaller than all of you?
No, you're not smaller. You're not
Let
smaller.
Allow Justice to come in.
Today I try my best to maintain my decorum.
Today I hope you have made your peace with that one. I don't know what fact today when I checked that game.
Even Mr. Tony has been quiet.
You are wrong. The facts were wrong.
Where am I wrong? Lyndon B. Johnson is a Democrat. And John F. Kennedy sent troops to Vietnam first. You see, they always.
That's what I'm saying. You still don't understand. Like, you don't have to send troops to start a war. You can support your proxies. Eisenhower started it. He supported the French. He supported the Southern Vietnamese. What? He started it. He supplied weapons to them.
Is this Eisenhower for you? Are you looking? This is the guy that took over after Kennedy.
No, this is not true. This is not true. Read about Eisenhower.
Look at it here. He literally went and sought for permission to go to war.
Google it. Okay, can you just Google did Eisenhower begin the Vietnam War? Just check it. This cannot be true.
I'm seeing the facts here.
Okay, but it's not even John F. Kennedy.
Okay, John F. Kennedy, look at what he said, just so you understand what I mean. He says he requested more troops, authorized U.S. troops to begin offensive.
Let me check ChatGPT.
U.S. Congress reported fired. This is okay. Increase. Look at that. Look at the term. It says permission to increase U.S. military presence because Kennedy sent troops there first before he died.
No. Let me read. Let me check.
Okay.
Hold a second. I'm almost there. Let me check. Yeah, I'm correct now.
Where are you correct? You are seeing the fact. Give me what is the question you want to ask?
Whose president did the Vietnam War start?
That is the question I asked here. That's the question I asked here.
From Nigeria to America again.
The Vietnam War began under the presidency
we need to try and maintain course when we're talking about this topic, man.
1964. Who was in office?
But what I'm reading here is different. The Vietnam, what I just told you.
Okay, Eisenhower. Can you give me his name? Let me check the name of Eisenhower, please.
Eisenhower, I'm correct. I read this a long time ago. I read all these things.
I think I don't know the spelling of his name very well.
Okay, I will spell it for you. E-I-S-E-N. E-I-S-E-N.
E-I-S-E-N.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Okay, I've seen it now. Yeah.
The Eisenhower Vietnam.
It was what time he started.
Okay, let's see the time he was in office. He ended. He was in 1961. He finished
before
office.
JFK came in. Yes.
Okay, now let's find out when Vietnam was started. Hold on. When did the Vietnam War start? All right. So this one, it says from here 1955 to 1975.
Yes, I said I was the one that sponsored it.
Okay, hold on, calm down. But the Americans were not involved in the war.
Oh shit. This narrative.
No, I think it's a fair point for you to say, but 1955. Let me hold on. Hold on. I think there might be something to what you are saying. Calm down. Let me see if I can find. Hold on. The Americans got into the war with Democrats.
What do you mean?
With this. But the area I'm looking at, maybe you may have a point to understand, was my earlier statement that who was in office when the war originally commenced, not whether Americans were involved or not.
They supported the South Vietnamese to prevent the spread of communism.
1951 to let me see Eisenhower's time in office, 1950 something. 1953 to 1961. So Eisenhower was in office when the original war started. 1953 to 1961. No, he's left off. Okay. Yeah, he was in office when he started. Yeah, fair point. That I'll consider one to you. It's a fair fact you shared here. However, he was. Hold on, calm down. But the Vietnam War started amongst the Vietnamese. Americans were not involved in the war.
Actually, France was involved. They defeated the French. Let me tell you the background.
Vietnam was fighting France.
When they defeated the French, then the US now got involved.
What?
Then they supported the Southern Vietnamese as a proxy. When the Southern Vietnamese were losing, they had to send troops to go and fight.
Let me confirm that. I think the French were. I know the French had a hand in that. After the French defeat of French Union, that began in 1946. That was quite a long time ago. That was just after
the Second World War ended.
Yeah, and that war, Democrats were in office. So, if you want to start going far back, let me even check when the Vietnam War actually started. Really, okay, 51 Democrats were in office. Republicans were in office during that time. So, yeah, they also no. There is a big difference, though. If you look at the ledger,
they're not the same political parties. They are different political parties, but they implement the same foreign policy.
It's not the same. I don't know why you keep saying it's exactly the same. It's not exactly the same.
It's the same. They implement the same foreign
policy.
I
don't know why people do this.
But they prioritize different geopolitical priorities.
Okay, but
they prioritize different geopolitical interests.
Then why are you saying they are the same?
Let me give an example. You don't understand.
No, don't give an example. You already said they are different.
Let me explain.
You can't say something is different and say they are the same at the same time.
No, I didn't say they are. I said they are two different political parties, but they implement the same foreign policy. Does that mean
they emphasize different areas? No, you said it. Your words. They emphasize different areas in terms of their priorities.
So let me explain what I mean. So, for instance, this is a very simple analogy, so you understand. Under Obama, they negotiated the Iran nuclear deal with Iran. And they removed sanctions from Iran. Some sanctions, not all, but they removed some sanctions from Iran. Then they negotiated the nuclear deal, right? To prevent Iran from possessing nuclear weapons, because that's seen as a security threat, according to the US, right? Under Donald Trump, tensions increased against Iran. You understand? He removed those... the nuclear deal, he actually sabotaged the nuclear deal. He abrogated it, he sabotaged it, and he imposed more sanctions on Iran. That's one example. So I'm telling you that they have all these priorities, but the policy still remains the same. Then you get what I'm saying. Under Obama was when the Ukraine coup happened. You understand? Then under Trump, the tension was managed, but they supported Ukraine, providing weapons to Ukraine to fight Russia. at that time. At that time, Russia had not yet invaded Ukraine. But that is not to say that the Republicans are peaceful. It's not rational.
Nobody said they were peaceful. I just said Democrats
you're making
were
it
the
seem
ones.
that way from what you said.
You don't be interrupting me constantly. What I'm saying is that Democrats were the ones that were in office when the most catastrophic wars were started. And in the case of this Vietnam War, yes,
Can I come in?
Hold
Both
on, now,
of you
let me
are
finish
wrong.
what I'm saying now. So, in the case of this Vietnam War, technically, it was Republicans that were in office from what we just checked just now. Even if it was tied
Please,
to
I
that
just want
war,
to ask. I don't understand.
even if it was
Originally,
tied
like, I
to
get that
that
you guys
war,
have spent 30 minutes on America's matter, but like, originally, how does this bag into Nigeria now?
the reason why it's very important to understand this thing because it's actually more consequential to us, given that we are not the most powerful people around. And you heard about when elephants are fighting, who suffers. So there are consequences to us too. So I wanted to even check this page again because it said something about this extra war that was going on that seemed to have spilled over into this
Which
one.
extra war? Let me see.
First Indochina War. The first
Tunaja,
Indochina War.
if you don't mind, Tunaja.
Yeah. December 1946. From December 1946, who was in office 1946? If you look at that, God help us.
It was Truman that was in office in 1946. It was Truman.
Was he a Democrat or Republican?
I can't remember if it was Democrat or Republican, but I know it was Truman. Yeah, it was Truman.
Truman is a Democrat now. Of course, he's a Democrat.
If you guys don't mind,
the nuclear weapon. Harry Truman was a Democrat. Harry. Oh, I better go Harry. Before this inside, how many H people are there? Stop it already. It's a democratic
correct. Was Harry Truman?
Yeah, Democrat. Yeah, it's a Republican. Yeah, let's see what they say. He's a Democratic guy. So he's the one that used the nuclear weapon twice. A Democrat. He's the one that was in office when that Indochina War started, and it spilled over into what you call the Vietnam War. So let's face it. These guys are not as peaceful as you like to think. I concede to you that technically, Republicans, Eisenhower was in office when the actual name Vietnam War started within the Vietnam, amongst the Vietnam people. But the Americans were not involved. When the Americans actually directly got involved in that war was when this thing, what they call it, Democrats came back into office. Kennedy sent soldiers in there. Then Johnson decided to back it up, and then the rest is history. So
wait, I have one to use to disagree there. So who now ended the war?
Who ended the war? I don't know who ended the war. Who ended it?
I think it was this guy that ended it. It was the Democrats that ended it. I think it was this guy that just died, Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Someone can check me right there. But I think it's Jimmy Carter.
The Jimmy Carter.
I think they're looking at it from just political parties. Like
no, but see,
the same policy.
You have to look at that. See, the reason why I looked at it because when I saw the way the Democrats behaved the last time they were in office, just with Ukraine, I saw a war that didn't need to happen. Like this is in Europe, it didn't even need to happen at all. But they triggered it and caused a cost of living crisis.
That's what I'm not telling you. They didn't trigger it. It had been triggered a long time ago.
They triggered it this time. It was clear that all they had to say was Ukraine is neutral and everybody will go home and forget about it. But they refused to allow Ukraine to be neutral. And they said, come on, how can you see through this? What just happened in the last couple of years? And sorry, let me just say this, please.
Tunaja, both of you are wrong. Both of you are wrong.
Let me finish what I'm saying. How can you sit with what happened in the last couple of years when America keeps escalating the war?
I'm wrong.
No, hold on, Jide. How can you say a party is peaceful when they keep escalating a war that didn't need to happen against a nuclear power? That they kept, Ukrainians more and more, and then at the end, when he left office,
hold on, guys. Tunaja, can you hold on, please?
That's it. But it was not the same way. Not the same way. He wasn't saying it.
You guys that love America,
Tunaja, you guys are wrong. Can I give you the history of this thing? Just a minute. Just a minute.
America did not start the war. America ended the war.
Which war?
First World War. Now, hold on.
Hold on. When it started, I don't know what you're talking
oh
about.
my
That
God.
was
Can you hold on? Please.
Second World
Please.
War. I'm not wrong.
Can you just hold on, please?
They're wrong. I didn't say anything about First World War and Second World War.
Oh my God.
So
Can you hold on? If I tell you why I talk out now, you know go fear explain. So just hold on. I listen to which I know where you stand. I agree with you that the two political parties are one. It's just like Nigeria and a PDP form APC. The same thing, Republican came out of Democrat. But one thing that you said that I agree with, America is an idea. So now one policy. America is not as organic as every other country. Hold on. Can you please let me finish? The idea is to conquer the world. If we let them. Now let me put it. In the 1800s, two events that you have to understand. Two events. Hold on.
Leave it.
See, everything connected. Not be everything just happen like that. You understand? In the 1800s, two events you have to. The presentation of the American system in 1932 by Woodrow Wilson, by James Moran to the Joint Congress. What was that? Was to warn all the Western power to stay clear from the Americas. All the island from Brazil to everywhere, stay clear. Any shenanigan there is as a security threat. That is 1923. Another event again was 1840 watts. That was at 1823. Another event that happened was the Berlin Conference of what? 1844. So after America has come of age, banned the European powers from the Americas, the European power has to face what? The Africans. So that's why they come. Hold on, that's why
that was it.
That wasn't the.
This guy has jumped like 4 times.
And we have to round up now because the next session is coming up. I didn't even pay attention.
Are we not here to educate
First
people?
World War and how America ended First World War. These guys were talking about Vietnam War. From there, you still jumped again to something else.
Yeah, okay. Now, if we are talking about let's check this. No, we don't want to go too long because we don't have time.
You say we are here to educate people, and this is more important to us than what is happening in Nigeria. But you don't want to listen.
Let's hear from some of the people that participated. This is going to be 1 minute at most. It's a small section. So we know.
You guys can fly, shall.
So we know what triggered, what are the interests involved in the First World War that we like to think we understand.
Book, The Ukraine War and the Eurasian World Order, quotes the expression of Mackinder's heartland theory from the US National Security Strategy of 1988. It said, this is the era of Ronald Reagan and the continuing influence of Zbigniew Brzezinski. The United States' most basic national security interests would be endangered if a hostile state or group of states were to dominate the Eurasian landmass, that area of the globe often referred to as the world's heartland. We, America, fought 2 world wars to prevent this from occurring. Goodness me, I didn't actually think that was what World War I and World War II was actually about. But
now, that is even a Westerner didn't even know what it was all about.
Tunanja, please just hold on. Exactly what I'm saying. That's what this man said. It is what after America don't ban the European powers, they have to fight. Now, when I say America no start the World War, it was Churchill that went to meet.
I didn't say anything.
Can I land my point, please? Can I land my point, please? You understand? The war was between Great Britain, France, Italy, against Germany and its ally. So there was a stalemate for 2 years. That same book, I get them. There was a stalemate for 2 years, no winner. With the Winston Churchill had to go to the America and meet with Ron Wilson. Say, please come into this war. They waited until they come to the last day. They entered the war. That's when the British and France were able to defeat Germany. That's why they now accuse Germany of causing the war. Now push them out of the deal they have in Berlin 44, where they did share Africa. So it has now to do with British and the rest. Now the fight between Ethiopia and Italy was in between this period too. So what James Monroe presented to the Congress refused to stop that. So everything gets sequenced. So it wasn't a bring America in. America identified the war. That's when the authority starts. Now, if you remember, after the World War I, which ended in 1917, what did America say? Go and free the people. Right now, there's no more war anymore because all this 1800 and a war between the European nations, they fight within themselves. So it's after the next year all finished, then when they accused Germany of causing the war, that is what led to Second World War because of waiting them passing. You have to go and study again the Treaty of Versailles, right? Presented to the American Congress, the League of Nations.
You are right, but what I'm saying is, I was not saying.
Hold on. I never finished.
How does that lead to
I never finished. Now, how does that help us? It was after the Second World War, the Americans say, come, go and free their people. That's when we get our own, that's almost all the African countries begin get what? Independence. In the 60s, after the war done in 84. So there is a sequence, and that's exactly what is happening again. There is another Second Cold War between the Americans now and the Beijing. The 60s was between the America and the Soviet Union, while the First World War was between that's when British finally lost their hegemony. So nothing where they happen. Now with this tax reform is literally because of the Cold War. America need more money in order for them to actually put China to rest technologically because they've never been here before.
So what you understood
I
from
swear,
that,
when he said tax reform, I thought he wanted to go back to Nigeria.
You don't understand the
But instead,
Mackinder.
he's still talking about America.
You
Jesus
don't
Christ.
understand the Mackinder thesis that was written even before.
I know about Mackinder thesis.
So
what year was that? What year was that? Was it before the Maureen Doctrine?
Yeah.
The Maureen Doctrine was 1823.
Maureen Doctrine, was it against Russia?
Was to stop all the European power away from the Americas.
No, but that is
So
not.
you have to understand how the world order started.
This is not a Nigerian topic.
The Mackinder one is the British felt that if they want to control the world, they have to keep Russia in check. That region, anyway, they have to keep it in check.
Yes.
And that has been the case. This is why they don't want to make nice with Russia because they feel
Yeah, but Russia, it was because of Russia coming into the war that helped defeated Germany. But guess what? Remember, I said America was supporting.
And immediately they turned against them again because they know they are a threat to the Western Anglo-Saxon
Hold on first. Hold on. You have to also understand that Americans was actually telling Russia to stay in the war. They actually give them $4 million to stay in the war. And that's what after they lost the war. If to say Russia
Is
it what?
Why do you think that America was?
Is it World War you're talking about? Russia. World War I. What are you talking about?
I'm confused.
I think World War I and II is similar.
No, World War I, Russia lost World War I. That was one that led to the Russian Revolution. It was part of what led to the Bolshevik Revolution.
I don't think.
No. What do you mean? World War I was between Germany and Britain and France and Allies. That's what World War I was about.
Russia was an ally to Britain. They were involved. They lost the war.
That's why I said America was actually. That's why I said America was actually telling Russia to stay.
Russia was not occupied or conquered.
No.
They expended their resources.
They were fighting the war. They helped defeated Germany. It is because
the side that they were on won the war. So that's why
America was on that side too. America's actually giving them money to keep going. You understand?
My point is that America played a smart game in terms of let them fight. Then when it is time to settle, they will come and finish the job.
You are right. That's exactly what happened.
They did it twice, and it helped them maintain control of. That's basically kept the Anglo-Saxons on top. And
that's exactly what is happening with Russia.
Conflict, but they won it. I don't even know. It's a very, very smart strategy, if you ask me. Somehow,
that's exactly what is happening with Russia and Ukraine. Keep them busy.
That was also what made them to be at the top economically.
Now you are. You said that Ukraine started. You said Ukraine started by George Bush. No, you have to go back to even during the Bill Clinton days in '94.
That's not
right.
True.
You have to go all the way back. But what you need to understand?
You didn't hear me very well. I said under Republican Ukraine, they wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO. I didn't say start under George Bush. Even under Republican, they wanted Ukraine to be part of NATO.
But you need to understand. It's already in part of the American story. So it's not that they just activated it.
I was just debunking what Father said that in Ukraine being part of NATO is not a Democrat thing. You also agree. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yes. You're on point.
Thank you, gentlemen and gentlemen, for
But
joining
Tunanja,
us.
I have a question for you.
Shame.
Tunanja, I have a question for you. What's
I
your
don't
take
want to
on?
get into trouble. I have. There's a new life that is coming up. I don't want to get into trouble.
I wanted to ask your take on Briggs. Our admission to be partner on Briggs.
I think we should
And
join. We are
huh?
free people. We are free people. We should join whatever organization we feel like is going to help our economy. We should.
I like that. We are free people.
Are you gonna stream later or?
Not likely. Not likely.
You have a date? Okay, you have a date.
And
okay.
yeah, not look at that. Like you gave me one. So thank you, gentlemen. AY, everybody, GD, very combative. All na politics. And thank you for your great contribution, John Abba. He said nothing. I'm sorry, John Abba. Today he just got a little bit out of. I don't think you were here earlier on. I think you missed it to an extent. So, but sorry you didn't get any chance to contribute. But you can go to the next live, because what they do in the next live, they continue the conversation we've been having here. Then before they start the original conversation, so you should have, 30 minutes, almost to an hour of this conversation on the next live. So let's do our bit to join that, and all the contributors. Team Majek and Team Majek is funny. Oh, you see, he was kind of trying to insult Janaba. Two of his contributions were based on insults. Team Majek, thank you for the donation. And Queen TAI, thank you for joining us. I don't know why people like to say that I'm trying to be malicious or funny with facts. Why would I change facts? Like when Jide came here and told me about Lyndon B. Johnson or Eisenhower. Did I dispute it? I won't dispute it now because it's a fact. If I dispute it, I would just be stupid. Why would I want to be stupid? It's just a fact of life. Thank you for joining us. I'm not going to
announce the topic. What is the topic of later? You have to announce the topic.
Okay, let me get the topic. Sorry
Can
about
you
that.
send the link to the next one?
Yeah, I should provide a link too. Yeah, let me do that now. Let's get that. Which one? Okay, that's it there. Precisely. I don't want to make a mistake here, so I'll get the topic right.
Ekaite, you are right. Russian Revolution 1917. That was because they don't too suffer because they hang on for too long for the First World War, which is America give them loan to continue. So that's where that revolution come and took them unaware. Not unaware anyway. The people they suffer. Why then the leaders they fight war?
Yes. Also, them joining the war also contributed to it as well.
Yeah. Then Italy, it's not that, yes, Italy did with the pact. It's not that Britain refused to give us freedom after World War I. In fact, they were told to go and exploit Africa to build their economy back because they lost a lot for the war. So that's when the exploitation started. And that's where British bring the two North and South together. That's when it started earnest in it. So then after the Second World War again, America had to tell them now, let them go. So maybe this Cold War war. Tunanja, what about this Cold War last for another 10-15 years and China won and China tell Nigeria let Biafra go.
Wahala now. Wahala.
That's a possibility.
See, why is it that we feel so vulnerable that other people can tell us what to do? I'm trying to find
our leaders, Tunanja, we don't have national leaders. We have chihuahuas, American and British chihuahuas, who all their life they are abroad. Right? They want to fight against people where they deserve.
Janaba, the link to the next live is on the private chat, and everyone here you can join the private the live in the backstage on the next live. I think it's been a fruitful conversation. Try to share.
Yeah, my guy, what be your name? I like your the way you they did the history.
Jide,
yeah.
Yeah, he's quite.
Jide a history teacher now.
Yeah, and he's interested in geopolitics.
So, but we need to understand all these things. It connects. As I said, when I say America's dream is to run the world, that is their dream, and they are carrying it out.
I'm not sure it was at first, though.
No, what it is America? American are like a farmer will go clear land. Platinum okra on the group, but that's what America is. They came to America and clear her up and institute how they want to govern. From there, they want to rule the whole world. That is their idea. Now,
America.
Is it going to happen? I don't know.
United States of Europe. That's
thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for
But
joining
then
us.
get Europe now. Not be them put European Union and NATO together.
Bye.